Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to the channel. We've got some interesting stuff happening for you today. In short, we probably will go and have a look at a few Zoom meetings. Yesterday, we had a bit of fun with Bob and we actually managed to scrape the database of a scam called Nova Cast TV. And we used scripts called Python to extract people's phone numbers, email addresses, first name and last name from their own database because they had such slack security on their privacy for their own customers, which was actually a bit of a laugh. So we've actually now got over 800 people where we can ring them up and warn them about a scam, which is very exciting. Hey, look, if you're not familiar with me and my Avengers, we are friggin' amazing. We go into Zoom meetings, cause disruption. We actually name and shame anyone that's running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. We also research. We have a team of investigators called the Avengers. We research blockchain investigations. I'm available for people who have been scammed, who want to dig deeper and have maybe some closure. We don't help people recover any funds ever because it's impossible, especially if it's been on the blockchain. But sometimes we do help in the courtroom with evidence. We have been privileged to actually be part of stopping like $41.5 million on the blockchain. We provided crypto wallet addresses to Zeke XBT on the internet, and he gave us credit for doing so, along with my colleague, my friend, Oz from Behind MOM, and we actually managed to seize 41 million 0.5 on the blockchain, which is actually really, really exciting. Unfortunately, there was 91 million available there to stop, but we could only stop so much of it. But that's what we do. If you aren't familiar with our organization, we actually are called the AAA, which is the Avenger Anti-Fraud Alliance. And we've just put together our logo for our team, so you will see that logo coming around in the not too distant future. And last night, I thought I'd update my website and try to give us some sort of, put a number to what we're actually doing. If you come down here, you'll see that we've actually, currently we've investigated over 300 plus scams. We have around about 1,250 persons of interest in our database. These are people that we see running and promoting Ponzi schemes and scams. We go into Zoom meetings quite a lot. We're sort of just putting a guesstimate out there. I'm guessing that we've actually caused major disruption in about 3,000 Zoom meetings. And fraud exposed. Well, that was a hard one for me to put a figure on because one of the first scams that I investigated was Hyperverse. And that was actually, Sam Lee was charged in connection to a $1.9 billion scam. We were whistleblowing that one all the way along. So I'm going to add that to my portfolio. And a lot of the other scams, we've got things like Smart Lab, which I believe is a $350 million scam. Christopher Delgado, his scam has now been put up to $397 million. And also we were a major thorn in the side of a scam called BG Wealth Sharing. And that was, I believe, about $1 billion they stole from mum and dad investors around the world. And it's still even going today. And I did an investigation last night. We actually had a tip-off about a scam called QVUE. And ironically, I didn't think I had much information to build a whole investigation out of it. But when I did start investigating it, I actually found out that Ghana, would you believe, had put a warning out to all the, what do you call a Ghanaian person? A Ghanaian? Ghanaians got told that there was a scam out there that was a mirror image of BG Wealth Sharing. And I thought, wow, what a hard case. So here I am looking at it going, this is just BG Wealth Sharing. So I managed to put together a whole blog about that. And it's actually quite interesting, the connections, but I can't, for the life of me, I need to change the color of my own links on my own website so I can find them when I'm talking. I think it was a date, and I think it had 22 in it. So let's have a look. 22, founded 22. Isn't it funny? I can remember the number 22, but I can't remember the month, the year. Oop, I think I just saw something flicker in my eye. Yep, there it is. I knew I found it somewhere. So that on the 22nd of July 2026, the Garderians actually got told to, what am I trying to say? They got told about all these scams that are associated. And in here, they mentioned BG Wealth Sharing, and they also mentioned the very scam that I've just done one. So all these scams here are all other scams that we may have not heard of, which are all associated with BG Wealth Sharing. And just to put that into perspective for you guys, oh, look, Scarlett, Quilt Writes. Look at that. And afternoon to you too, Susie. Neville, we've got a surprise coming for you. We've actually got something cool coming out soon. I'm going to tell you all about that in a few minutes, but we've got a nice wee icon for Neville. Neville's always here. And if you don't know much about Neville, he's actually, what are we going to call him? The Warden is what we're going to give you a nickname, because you're always in the meeting. So we're going to give you a pretty wee icon so you can be part of the Avenger team. You're so supportive to us. Look, if I went into Ponzi schemes and scams, you will see that we actually have, I need to actually move this down, a whole list of opportunities which are the same as BG Wealth Sharing. And I'm just going to go find them all. If I go down to here. Alrighty, so if we ever wanted to have a landmark example of a scam that bounces from one scam to the other, I just want to show you. CR Group LLC was the first sniff that we heard about BG Wealth Sharing. No, yes. So everyone knows BG Wealth Sharing because that got traction. But they did a test case here in New Zealand called CR Group LLC. Then it morphed into Signal Raiders. Then we believe that BG Wealth Sharing got traction. Then even now, PO Wealth Sharing, which is a mirror image of BG Wealth Sharing. I don't know about Apex Group. I can't remember about that one. But Nexo, Swiftwave Capital, and then we've got QVSE, Q Markets, Vista, New Era, and I even would go as far as to say Polar Tensor and SFC Vive Rating, which has closed down their offices now in New Zealand. Now, all those companies, if I was a betting man and I was going to bet on a whole lot of horses, I would say all those scams I just read out are all coming from the same scam factory. And that's why we like this database. So in this database, I started this database quite a few years ago now, and it's not public, but it's available to government departments who may be researching things. So for example, we can go into global glamping. We can click on persons of interest. Then you can go through and you find different persons of interest in here. Then you can click on Devon, and we now have found out where Devon lives. We've found out what companies he owns, and we've found out that he has actually, in our opinion, defrauded people of about $5 million. So when you go to our website and you click on the homepage, this is what I'm trying to keep a sort of a number on, is these numbers here. We've invested at least 300 plus scams that I can think of. You know, if I sat in a courtroom, I wouldn't be able to rattle them off. But I know through our investigation, we're always sniffing on, lots of scams. We just don't put them into our database every day. Persons of interest, well, that's persons I just showed you, like Devon. And then we've got scam meeting disrupted, and that's what we're going to have a quick look at. And then the amount of money fraud exposed, probably would be fair to say about $3.4 billion that our team of Avengers have actually exposed. So as time goes on, you're going to see more and more about this. And it's quite, is it Susie's trying to tell me in the chat room there? Is it, what do you actually call them?
Ghanaians.
Ghanaians. Is that what they're called? So we're New Zealanders. What is an American person called? We call Aussies, Australians. We could have a lot of fun with that, couldn't we? But look at that logo. Isn't that shiny? And something I'm going to show you, which I shouldn't be showing you, but I'm going to show you anyway. Crypto G is probably going to kill me. But if you go to, we're getting things underway here. I won't tell you the address, but this is a site that Crypto G's actually working on at the moment, And it's basically our forensics side of the Avengers. So the Avenger Anti-Fraud Alliance is going to be a collective of people, and each person's going to be able to provide unique services to people that have lost crypto and investments and the like. And it's world class. This is going to be amazing. So I got the idea here where he's investigated, so many scams because he's one of our investigators. He's one of the Avengers. And if you come down to here, hopefully he's got open the full report, and you'll see that he's actually put that full report of what he did. Now, this is $31.7 million. Sorry, too much money for Danny, obviously. Let's just say $32 million that he was monitoring. This scam has now fallen over. Through his forensic investigation, he actually proved that the smart contracts that they were claiming were bulletproof had exits in them. And since his report, 4 days, I believe, after I did a big yahoo about it, everyone's lost their money. And he witnessed $34 million worth of money moving around that wasn't doing what they were claiming to do. So that's something that we're all working on. So you're going to see more from the Avenger Anti-Fraud Alliance. And it's quite exciting to see where we're going and what we're doing. So if you have any information that you want us to know about, any suspicious leads, then let us know. You go to the contact page on dehek.com or danny.co.nz. Dehek is spelled D-E-H-E-K. You can go to our contact us page and you can provide information anonymously if you want to. Now, most people come along to us and they tell me that I had one this morning that's telling me they've lost over $100,000. They want me to investigate it because they have hope that they're going to get I presume they have hope that I can help them get their money back. We never are going to help you get your money back. But what we can do is we can tell you what happened to your money. We can tell you who scammed you, whether they've got a history of it, whether we had reported on the scam that they invested in, and we can really, truly help people get some closure of some sort. But also, the information we receive anonymously for people actually goes into our database, and we can actually, add to it. Then our database, as we've said before, is available to people, law enforcement. If they want access to a file or an individual, we can speed up the process and give them the smoking guns to go and investigate, and it's quite exciting. So big scam at the moment is Goliath Ventures, right? And everyone in this picture, we believe, contribute to the growth of Goliath Ventures. Now, today we've had some really, really exciting stuff come out. So the first thing was the United States, the Security and Exchange Commission have published articles about what actually happened. Now, alleged, they still use the word alleged, which amazes me, but they are now calling it a $425 million Ponzi scheme. And I could read through all that. I don't need to. The next one is we actually had this filed by the Security and Exchange Commission, and they are suing Goliath Ventures and Christopher Delgado. And that is a 29-page document, which I'm not going to read because we don't need to, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. Then we had, now literally, myself and one of my main Avengers had a meeting with the CFTC. And my other Avenger didn't want, my Avengers work anonymously. They didn't want their identity exposed. So I said to the CFTC that one of my Avengers would like to attend the meeting so we can show our findings. They said, well, if they're not prepared to show their real name, we're not interested in having an interview. So they agreed to use their real name so that we could provide information to the CFTC. Within the first 1 minute of the meeting, they read out that person's name to me and expose their identity. I couldn't believe it. I said, I've been working with that person for over 4 years. I don't know their name, and you just blurted it out. So some of these government departments actually horrify me. But anyway, the point is this was back in September. We had meetings with the CFTC, and now we see what actually comes from those meetings. So they're saying it's a $397 million Ponzi scheme, but they also give an example which we've already highlighted, where $722 million, basically $722 million through the Bid Club network, how basically the guy was, the charges were dumped. So it's heartbreaking for these guys, because we've talked to some of these guys. I haven't talked to this guy, but I have talked to other people who work at the CFTC. And ironically, guys, they are talking about Goliath Ventures being called the House of Cards. And that is the very first blog I did. I've now done about 80 blogs, about 80 videos on Goliath Ventures. And the very first one was about Christopher and his House of Cards. So I'm actually just going to prove that, because it's actually quite funny. Let's have a look. House of Cards. So if we go back to here, we should find, hopefully with a bit of luck, the very first investigation I did on Goliath. And oh my goodness, I know we've got to go more. But isn't that ironic that the CFTC has actually mentioned the House of Cards when that was our very first investigation on Christopher? Oh, it looks like I'm not going to find it easy. Maybe I need to put Christopher's name in there as well. Let's see what we can find. House of Cards, House of Cards. It would be nice just for it to pop up, Danny, and then I don't have to sit here and make people wait, but it's not going to happen in a hurry. I don't think so, unless I put House of Cards, Christopher. Let's see if we can go Christopher. All right, we've got champagne bottles. We've got tug of wars. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it's just not worth doing it, but I'm so determined that I could go here. I remember these days when we found out that Nadia Bringus was the bookkeeper who was controlling now $400 million worth in Goliath Ventures. Look how good ChatGPT has improved since we've been doing this. I don't know if you're following that, but if you ever want any information on Goliath, you can go to Goliath Ventures, and you can actually click on the Goliath Ventures link. And because I'm so determined, I'm going to show you my very first. Actually, I tell you what, I'm going to do something even a bit, rather than boring you to death, I'm going to actually show you how much work that the Avengers and myself have actually put in to exposing Goliath Ventures. So the best way of doing that is to show you the artwork that we actually have done. So to date, I have produced over 200 images for thumbnails for just with Goliath Ventures. And if I've got this right, I can go all the way to the bottom and show you the very first, there's Mark. Oh no, maybe I didn't. Maybe I renamed it. So maybe they're not all Goliath Ventures. Oh, well, that's interesting. Have I got that in the right folder? Oh, I must have renamed the folder. So this was, even this isn't working. This is Anim Bilwani. And we've got some more stuff coming out about him. Bitcoin Rodney on the 3rd of September. What's the month at the moment? August. So in 3 days, Bitcoin Rodney will be let out of prison after being involved in a $1.9 billion scam. I might incriminate myself here. Oh, let's see. We can find the very first image I did for Goliath. Wish it had dates on them. Oh, there it is. Look at that. So I'm really proud of that now, because there's Christopher Delgado and there's the House of Cards. And if you did win and read about the, shaky promises and shaky contracts. Actually, now we can find it because I know the title of the blog. Let's go back to here. And a lot of people go, oh, well, you were paid to do this investigation. I go, no, I wasn't. I just had somebody that was asked me to look at their contract. And would you? There it is. There's the blog I was looking for. Isn't that exciting? Not until September. So that's getting close. So there's the House of Cards, and we actually called it Goliath Ventures Exposed, Glossy Promises, Shaky Contracts, and the Dark Reality of Guaranteed Returns. And that was the thing that got if he didn't have guaranteed returns for people, a too good to be claim, we probably wouldn't have investigated as hard as we did. And the very first contract that we reconstructed using ChatGPT that we got our little wee hands on, we went through the whole contract, and that's how we started the whole investigation. And now it's a $400 million scam. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. You can go and find my original article. It wasn't even that large, but Christopher talked about that when he was interviewed with Darlene Jones about the impact of our first article and exposing him and who he was. Right, so I have got more, and I've got all those documents that I just showed you. We've got the SEC, the government SEC. We've got the PDF. We've got the House of Cards. We've got the I don't even know what this article is. The defendant, the CFT sue Goliath Ventures. I'm just going to put that into a search engine and see what else we can find. So now we've got other articles coming out. We've got another one here, which is listed in Law 360. I don't have an account with them, but I'd have to sign up. But everyone's going to be talking about this PDF that's come out. So rather than me bore you to death, let me listen to this, and I'm actually going to make this into a blog, but I'm going to get it read because I want you to absorb what this actually means, because I didn't realize what it meant. And why would the CFTC be suing Goliath Ventures and Christopher after he's already pleaded guilty? So let's find out.
What happened in the last 24 hours? This is a major escalation in the Goliath Ventures story, because we now have two separate federal civil regulators, the SEC and the CFTC, formally alleging that Goliath Ventures was a Ponzi scheme, on top of the existing criminal prosecution in which Christopher Delgado has already pleaded guilty. The most important development is that the numbers are getting much bigger and much more detailed. The SEC says Goliath raised at least $425 million from more than 1,300 investors between January 2023 and January 2026. It says investors were promised monthly returns of 3% to 10%, supposedly generated from crypto liquidity pools, while their principal was supposedly guaranteed. But according to the SEC complaint, none of the investor money was ever placed into those liquidity pools.
No, they weren't. And did you notice something really important there? So it said 3% to 10%. So we've been saying that since day one. These are Christopher. I'm going to go use this when I go to see Christopher. Next time you give me these cards, Susie, they need to be like not green. Just saying. Anyway, you can see that I have got these cards, and I have got my scam fighting lucky kit here. And Susie gave me that when we were in Washington, which was quite exciting. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the SEC saying this is a $425 million scam. It's gone up from $328 million. So it's nearly gone up $97 million. They were claiming that there's 1,300 investors, but we're still getting reports that other people are saying 1,600 investors. We still say there was over 2,000 investors. And the reason we're saying that is because we're going through and we've been receiving a lot of documents, right? And the documents actually state that a lot of companies were also borrowers or not investors. So we've got individuals and companies investing. So whether that all simmers back down to 1,300 people, we still don't know whether they've actually got the full access to the database. Even though a lot of the stuff that they were leaked to us, we have a big access to a lot of information. So that will come out in time. That is probably the single biggest headline from this filing. The SEC is not saying the investment strategy underperformed. It is alleging the investment activity investors were told existed did not exist at all. So basically straight fraud. So here's Christopher, been talking to Darlene Jones, been interviewed for 7 hours, and he's telling her that he was trying to get his business going and he can trade his way out of the disaster he's got everyone in. But here is the SEC stating that he was running a straight fraud and there was no investments that people were told. So that's deception, whatever you want to call it. It's actually 50 years in prison, or up to 50 years in prison. Where the money allegedly went. Now, this will be really interesting. This is where the new filing becomes particularly interesting. The SEC alleges Christopher Delgado personally misappropriated at least $51 million. Isn't that fantastic? Now, the Avengers were actually claiming, and we worked out that he was spending about $25 million a year on his lifestyle. Now we find out that all the vehicles and all the houses that he was buying and all the parties and all the flights that he was flying around the world with were actually mostly put on borrowed money as well. So the fact that they think that he had burnt through $51 million is pretty cool. Now with the blog that we did just last week, we were asking people, if the houses didn't have any equity and if the cars didn't have any equity, where did the money go? Now they've come out with this document that's basically alleging where the money has gone. Now, there's one staggering thing in here that I'm so pleased about. Any victim should be happy about. Now, we've been talking about co-conspirators for such a long time that the co-conspirators have nearly got over half the money. So let's have a look. So first of all, they said 17.5 million on real estate purchases, renovations, and related expenses. This is the part that really made me sick, made me green, as Susie would say. These people have not only just bought a house, they get these houses remodeled. They not only buy a $600,000 Lamborghini, they spend $300,000 getting it decked out. You know, it's just filthy, disgusting stuff. There's this Christopher Delgado guy. I don't care whether he's here or he isn't here. I said that earlier on, and people go, oh, you shouldn't wish people dead. And I'm going, I don't wish them dead, but I'm just saying this guy doesn't serve any purpose on the planet, and there'll be no loss. He's of no value to humankind. The fact that he can stand in front of a TV camera and get a voice and tell people that if he got given the opportunity, he could use his brilliance to get the $250,000 back for people that he alleges that he's guilty for is just ridiculous. And that really hurts me, and I no doubt it will hurt the victims as well. But anyway, so he spent $17.5 million on real estate purchases. All right, let's take this backwards. We've got 400,000 left. Let's go down to, let's make it 380 million left. All right, $4 million on luxury vehicles. All right, so now we're down to, let's make it 375 left. Now we've got $7.5 million on luxury retail purchases. So that's just $7.5 million on Rolex watches and the like, and Tiffany handbags, for God's sake. Now we've got some new information, which is really interesting, and it was about London Club and their previous general manager, Harvey. Is it Harvey? He was actually in bed with Christopher. He was his chauffeur. He was driving him back and forth from Tiffany's to Rolex whenever Christopher wanted to. And Christopher at the London Club was actually what you call a statesman. And a statesman is somebody who pays $250,000 a year to be part of that club. Now, this is just all speculation to a certain degree, but we had some pretty good intel that's telling us that these guys were spending a lot of money on their jewelry. And I'm starting to think that their jewelry may be where the money went. Now, we have had unconfirmed claims that Christopher had 50 or 100 Rolex watches in Dubai. Now, that is yet to be confirmed, or we don't have any real evidence of that. But maybe these guys are buying this jewelry stuff, buying $250 brooches, $250,000 brooches, and that's where the money's gone. But anyway, as you can see, if you add up all that money, you can see that it doesn't add up to the amount of money that they had brought in. So where does the money go? $4 million on entertainment. Now, that can't be right, because they had a Christmas event that cost $9 million. So $4 million on entertainment, nightclubs, restaurants, sporting events, and related travel. $4 million. Well, most of that will be airlines, no doubt. $2.9 million on a yacht. Let me get this right. Remember we saw this. Remember we saw this video.
Don't add up. Goliath would be spending more money than
Wrong
they
video.
made. But the problem is,
I was in that video. 4.3 million views now. Remember this one here? Now, Christopher was on this yacht. Tomo was on this yacht. Mike was on this yacht. And we notified Homeland Security that they were on this yacht with 50 other gentlemen. And they were there promoting the war room for Andrew Tate. And now we see, who paid for these yachts. I can just imagine Christopher, you putting his hand up to Andrew Tate and say, hey, I'll pay for the yachts. So what do we have? We now have $2.9 million on a yacht. Approximately $30 million withdrawn or transferred into accounts he personally controlled. Now, Christopher, how many accounts did he have? 30 bank accounts. This is just ridiculous. I'm not reading the chat because I'm on a rant at the moment. But Christopher's personal spending was not where most of the money went. And I think that's one of the most significant things your audience is to understand. Now, I asked ChatGPT to give me a summary of those articles before I wrote a blog about it, which will come out the next day or two. The SEC says approximately 281 million was used to make supposedly monthly profit distributions to investors. In other words, paying investors with other investors' money. 281 million. There was then there was the recruitment network. The SEC especially says investors' funds were used to pay commissions to directors and partner services. Now that's Tomo, that's Mike, that's people like who wasn't on the website, but Jonathan Mason. Then you've got Jay Newton, the Alberta Security Commission's investigating him. 1 minute. Cold coffee. So those people have received money as well. Who functioned as sales agent, recruiter investors onboarded them and were paid according to how much the investor capital they brought into Goliath. So this is going to be great, because if they start to look at who's divvied up the spend, then they're going to be starting to look at the co-conspirators. And that's where stuff is going to get really awkward for the Tomos, the Steve Davises, the Punic Shaws, the Matt Burks, the Pierce Currys, the Nadia Bringas. You know, do you want me to go through all 27 co-conspirators? That distinction matters. The US 174 million figure is massive. The CFTC material you have supplied goes further. According to the CFTC complaint, as reported by the is it defendant?
Defiant.
Defiant, approximately 174 million was transferred to Goliath directors and staff, often as commissions for recruiting new customers. Okay, dokie, guys. Now we have a real game, don't we? And that's interesting what Susie just said there. Piers Curry wasn't on the GV website either. Wasn't he there earlier on? Eric Clayman wasn't on the Goliath website either. So what I'm seeing here, guys, is everybody that we show in these persons of interest here are going to be sweating. They are going to be concerned about saving their own bacon, and they will not be able to hide behind willful blindness. And if you don't know what willful blindness is, it's when somebody's living life like a king, buying sports cars, watches, traveling, big piss-ups at nightclubs to be the man, beating their arms on the chest and going, look how successful I am, living in a mansion worth $8.5 million, buying a house for the wife, buying investment properties and all the people and all the glory and giving to all the charities and looking at me, look at me, look at me. And they're sitting there going, this guy isn't spending the capital. They are going to sit there in a courtroom and say to the judge that we didn't know it was a scam. And I'm going to say, well, you guys are business people. You know how businesses work. We've also got some interesting information on Tomo, and we've got some money. We can see where you've been spending the money, and hopefully I'll be able to release that information, and we can see that the dividends that he was receiving on the blockchain dramatically went up with his involvement to Goliath Ventures. So where did that money come from, Tomo? We're going to find out. And also we're going to do a massive investigation on Tomo. So if you have any information about Tomo, remember to go to our website, click on the Contact Us button and give us some information. We want crypto wallet addresses. We've got them. But any others that we're not aware of, those secret wallets where he said, I'll pay you this way, let us know, because this house of cards is about decked out. Anyway, let's go back to this. So according to the FTC complaint, Eric Clayman wasn't on that as well. You've got all these names. We just go on and on and on. Yeah, we've got some great stuff about Tomo coming up. Maybe you want to give us a few tidbits out there, Susie. Did you have that crypto wallet address I gave you this morning? That's what we do. We are forensics investigators. We do the research with the receipts we get given from the public, and then we validate them, and that's what we do. So according to the CFTC complaint, was reported the Defiant, is that what they call that?
Defiant.
Approximately 174 million was transferred into, I know I've read this, but I loved it so much I have to read it again, Goliath directors and staff, often as commissions for recruiting new customers. Oh, I love it because that's what we've been accusing them of all the way along. Let's go again. 174 million was transferred to directors. That's nearly half the kitty. If you double that money, what's that? That's more than 328 million, isn't it? So compared that with roughly 48 million that the CFTC contributes to Delgado's personal spending. So using CFT figures, Delgado approximately spent 48 million. Directors and staff approximately 174 million. Isn't that great? So where did the money go? Well, there it is. Directors and staff. So all those people out there, like I said to the individual that provided me information about Tomo today, I said, what are you waiting for? If you've got information and you've got a blockchain address, if you've got a history, if you've got screenshots, if you've got conversations, we will keep it anonymous. That's what we do, and that's what we do bloody well. But do not sit there on your hands thinking you're going to keep that. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm referring to. If you think you have a civil case with Tomo and you are waiting to use the evidence that you've collected on your own merit to go after Tomo, just like when they went after Christopher Delgado, every civil lawsuit, we had Nick Petrillo going out there claiming he lost $40 million of unpaid royalties, and he put a civil case in there. As soon as he was charged by the federal government, then everything fell under the umbrella of one big case, and everything had to fall under that umbrella. So let's say Tomo is guilty as sin and Tomo's going down, and you think that you're going to withhold evidence waiting for your civil case to take priority over the feds. It's not going to happen. The feds are going to take priority over anything first. If Tomo comes out and he's not guilty and there's money left, then you may be able to argue in a courtroom that he owes you money. But the chances of that are finding a needle in a haystack. So don't sit on your hands with intel. Give it to myself and the Avengers. We have direct communication with Homeland Security, the CFTC, and the IRS and the FBI. And there were 6 government agencies investing this. There was actually 14 departments involved in this investigation. The original investigation started in New Jersey under Homeland Security. They needed jurisdiction to take on the case. Thanks to Punic Shaw and his real estate license, he had a license in New Jersey. They could take on the case. As soon as they started unwrapping this baby, they realized they needed help from the big guys. We had meetings with the CFTC and we told them what we knew. They said to us they could not believe the amount of evidence the Avengers actually had on blowing Christopher Delgado. Now, that's not bad for an organization that does things for, basically we don't get paid to do this type of investigation. We just do the right thing. So if you do want to support us in the work that we do, please do go to Ko-Fi, support us or buy us a cup of coffee. One individual must have watched my video the other day and they supported us by buying me 100 cups of coffee. That helps, but it doesn't make me, I'm going backwards financially, even though I've had a lot of money coming lately. This does actually take a lot of time, resources, and money. So if you want to help us and support us, please do. But when I see the hurrah not being Christopher holding a $9 million Christmas event, but the last hurrah is coming from the same organizations we spoke to back in September, the CFTC, the SEC, and all these organizations are now throwing the hammer at Chris. And that makes everything that we've been doing tirelessly every day in and out absolutely worth it. And this is kind of vindication. And that's why I'm going to America. I'm going to be in the courtroom and I'm actually going to sit there and listen to Christopher and the victim statements. And if you've got to the end of September to file in your last proof of claim, then you will be able to file a victim statement. And then you will know that I will be in that courtroom and I'll be listening. And I will be listening to hopefully someone who's going to get 50 years in jail. Isn't that going to be just something worth going to America for? All right, so let's just put this in perspective for you guys. 48 million Christopher spent 174 million he gave to the directors and staff. Beautiful that they've managed to divvy that up. That means the amount alleged flowing to directors and staff was more than 3.5 times the amount contributed to Delgado personally. That is potentially one of the biggest stories buried inside this new filing. However, I would be careful before live. This is what chat says to me before I talk.
However, I would be careful live on air about calling all of those people co-conspirators. Neither civil complaint, based on what we have here, establishes that every person receiving commissions was a criminal co-conspirator. A safer and more accurate phrase is,
right, directors, staff, and recruiters who receive investors' funds and commissions. Now, let me give you an example of that. What is a co-conspirator? A co-conspirator, in my opinion, is somebody that contribute to the growth of Goliath Ventures. Anybody can be a co-conspirator. Now, we believe there's more than 27 people, but we had to stop somewhere because otherwise you wouldn't see the faces. But the top row are people that were listed, well, nearly all the top row were listed on the website. They had executive roles. They were called partners. They were in sales. We know that if you use Nick Petrillo, 900 people. We know we used Punic Shaw. He had 500 people underneath him. He had what you call the 7% club. We know Matt Burks had his own company called Black Block, not to be mistaken as Black Rock. And also he was working with Pierce Curry, and they had another company called WebMD. My WebMD purpose was to go after the 401ks of retired people. Jay Newton was in Canada. We know that they used to hold private dinners at the London Club. They used to bring in investors. They used to woo them with flash meals and get them to sign contracts late at night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We've got all that evidence now. You know, we know how they formulated their victims into signing these contracts with their lavish gifts and their lavish lifestyle. These people that participated and partied with Christopher's, in my opinion, are co-conspirators. So, ChatGPT, I'm willing to take the risk, because if these guys are innocent, then you should be helping with the investigation rather than not answering our right to reply where we've written to you guys to ask you what involvement that you had with Christopher. The SEC says another 53 million maintained the illusion. SEC identifies approximately 53 million allegedly spent maintaining the appearance that Goliath was a successful, legitimate investment company. That included the $12 million plus on private flights, approximately 21 million on promotional events. Well, there goes the Christmas dinner, Christmas parties and related travel. 21 million. Approximately 3 million buying and renovating the Goliath office. So that's interesting, because I know that we spoke to the guys that fitted out the office and they were under contracts to come up with the design and the blueprints and the like. I actually spoke to the guy. Well, I didn't speak to the guy. I emailed the guy. I've actually looked at the blueprints. I've had them in my hand. Now, don't ask me how I got them, but I have been in there and held those blueprints in my hand. Approximately, I should have taken them. I should have taken them, but then I would have been done for theft. Anyway, approximately $4 million in charitable donations. Well, I don't know if they got that from the website, but maybe that's true. Unfortunately, the donations can be clawed back. But what part of clawback money do you go after? Like, do you go after Jason Girillo, who claims he didn't get paid in the second or the third event that he ran? You know, I don't know. That is significant because it gives a completely different
interpretation
to the lavish parties, private flights, charity sponsorship, luxury offices, and Orlando social scene. Right, so the SEC alleges allegations is effective. I'm going to just read that part because it's getting a bit twisty.
The sex allegation is effectively that these were not evidence of investment success. They were funded by investor money and helped create the appearance of success that attracted additional investors.
Yeah, nice to see you here, Rob. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Nice to see you. Nice. Fake dashboard is another huge development. SEC says investors were given access to an online portal displaying balances, transactions, and supposedly investments and performances. According to the complaint, those increasing balances were false. No shit, Sherlock. That was good investigating. It also alleges that another dashboard showed supposedly crypto holdings, liquidity pools, activity, wallet addresses, and transaction histories. But the sect says the ledger itself was fake because Glythe had never placed the investment money into liquidity pools. That is far more serious than simply saying the business failed. And as you listen to the reported story from Darlene Jones, she said that she let Christopher say that they were a failed business more than a business that was just committing fraud. The allegations is that the investors were being shown fabricated financial information representing investment activity that occurred. So if I was to take that to another level, no doubt you know I probably will, remember Jonathan Mason. He used to be in the chat room all the time, giving me a hard time, telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. And I remember seeing with him, and the poor boy must have been looking at the wrong type of wallet. What do they call it? I've forgotten the name of the wallet that they call it now. But he was claiming that he had seen $1 billion worth of crypto in the wallet, and we didn't know what we was talking about. And I have to bring it up because it's kind of funny. Now, I don't know how I'm getting on with the echo. It looks like we're good, but if this doesn't sound very good when I play it, do let me know. But somewhere down here, there it is. So we've got these secret recordings.
It paid the same month he passed. So Mike's dad passed away from dementia, Alzheimer's, and that's the money they used to put into the pool to pay off the medical bills, the debt, move his mom down, get an apartment. They rely on that income every single month. Mikey, how much is in the second wallet?
Over 300 million.
It's like 350 or something, right? Yeah. There's over $500 million in just two of the wallets, and there's 6 total. Like, the whole thing.
So here he is, Jonathan Mason, after Christopher's admitted guilt. Well, actually, he'd been charged. He was telling us that his buddy Tomo, listen to something. This guy here was trying to get people to reinvest in Matthew Burke's investment opportunity, claiming that there's another investment opportunity out there that isn't paying 5 or 8%, but paying 3.5% per month. And if he pushed his rich friends into it, they would also offer him a backhander. So Matt Burks is out there today, still promoting another investment opportunity, which is a mirror image of what Goliath Mencius was doing. Matt Burks is meant to be a minister in the church. He's been kicked out of the Lakeside church. Well, I presume he has. He's been scrubbed from the website and everything like that. And here's Jonathan Mason telling everyone that Tomo is a policeman that used to be involved in fraud in the police, but he's not. He was a beat cop. He did parking tickets and also speeding fines, and used to drive around looking for things to poke a stick at all day long. But he was not a financial investigator like they have claimed he is. Anyway, listen to some of this. It's breathtaking.
A lot of BS. Plus, my 2 other FBI buddies looked at it and said the same thing. Tomo has people that actually have eyes on the fund. And he sees the wallets. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. So he'll give you a better clarification, understanding about everything. And
so Tomo has people that has eyes on the wallets. This is the bullshit that they come out after Christopher had actually been, admitted guilt. So it's absolutely batshit crazy.
It'll make more sense. Just don't let the media scare you. But let's talk tonight. It'll be midday for you, and then we'll come up with a game plan. Listen, my buddy Wayne, who works for the FBI, he was just at the house laughing at this shit. Please stop believing all these fucking articles, because I just spoke with...
So my buddy Wayne that works for the FBI was just laughing at all this shit. I mean, can you imagine listening to this recording now? And this recording, he's been trying to get this recording removed for so long now. It doesn't work anymore. Because we've got ways of keeping our content on live.
Compliance, they actually have a copy of the actual signed copy of the fidelity bond that was in place. Alston Bird has their opinion letter, which is the SEC attorneys that reviewed and approved everything. So there's stuff for these guys.
The SEC attorneys approved everything to do with Goliath Ventures. Now, that's a pretty cool, as Rod Woolley would say, outrageous claims. Was it, I forgot what he says, but normally he says extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But by all means, go and listen to this recording. You won't believe what Jonathan Mason was telling people. Now, Jonathan Mason is connected to Patrick Bet-David. And Patrick Bet-David took $1 million from Christopher so he could have naming rights at the Vault 2025 event. Now, hello, welcome to everybody. If I went to our investigation that happened to be on CoffeeZilla,
generate maybe 4 to 10% a year. Meanwhile, Goliath's contracts with investors said they would be paid 3, 4, 5% a month, and you could take payouts or you could leave it in. You could do something they called hyper compounding. Now, obviously, those numbers don't add up. Goliath would be spending more money than they made, but the problem is Goliath is paying out at this point, and so no one wants it to stop. No one except for Danny, who wouldn't stop digging.
You need to look into my liquidity partners because that's where it all started. It's a mirror image of Goliath Ventures.
I am so proud to be me today because when I look at that video, it actually just brings tears to my eyes. The reason why I wanted you to see that video is if you go to CoffeeZilla, right? And if you go into his more links, you can actually see Patreon. And in Patreon, hopefully I'm logged in, I am, you can see a lot of content that gets, he's working on a big case at the moment. But if you want to get stuck into the involvement, and there is another investigation coming out from me, and I haven't told everyone yet. But he rang up Patrick Bet-David, right? And he basically put Patrick Bet-David on the spot and said, you took $1 million from investors. Are you going to give it back? It was really embarrassing. Down here, even more, you've got Patrick Bet-David. All these guys, they're all in the same soup together. So Patrick Bet-David, Goliath Ventures, what the hell is going on? Why can these guys get away and be what I believe is co-conspirators, promoting these guys, let them get on stage and the like? But what I'm saying is a lot of the stuff isn't on on the mainstream YouTube. But if you want to pay $6 a month to CoffeeZilla, he has supported me something wicked and really given me a voice. But the one that I really want to go after next is this one here. And this is, I can't play this.
I don't know really what to call this except a crime against finance. Bitcoin is less risky than the S&P 500. There's no world where someone...
So this guy here is
running.
Eric.
Obviously.
Where has he gone?
The whole data room. You could click on our whole audited numbers that we pulled directly from Binance. So you'll have the last.
So CoffeeZilla did an amazing investigation on this one, and this is actually a company called the Onyx Reserve. They are still today claiming that they can pay out people, I think it's 3 and 7% per month. He's busted this as a scam. We talked about this when I was there in person with him. What I'm getting at, these guys are still committing fraud. So we need to go after them. That's my next blog, well, not my next blog, but in the next week or two, I'm going to publish a big investigation on the Onyx Reserve. I'm going to publish what we've found so far because that opens a hornet nest. So let's just carry on here. I'm just going to read this because this is ChatGPT and I haven't read it yet, but let's have a listen.
And then we get to November and December 2025. This filing also puts considerable pressure on the explanations investors were given when payments stopped. The SEC says by November 2025, Goliath simply couldn't raise new investor money fast enough to continue paying existing investors. Yet investors were allegedly told that payments were delayed because of a forensic audit, compliance requirements, banking infrastructure, and coordination between traditional banking and blockchain systems. The SEC alleges those explanations were false and were used to conceal the fact that Goliath had run out of enough investor money to continue operating the scheme.
So did we have an impact on that? We certainly did. We actually, through LinkedIn, messaged people who worked at the Bank of America and said, check out this transaction. This is coming from a fraudulent company. They wrote back, and I remember the words, whoa. They said, this account has over $100 million worth of transaction. Christopher, when he was interviewed with Darlene Jones, said that they had $18 million in that account. They said that the burn rate for Goliath Ventures was $3.5 million a month. So that's the numbers that he had worked out to keep the scam going. He was hoping to get a $50 million investor, which I know personally now, And he was hoping they were going to restructure the company after they received another $50 million worth of money. And then that investor said that he may be able to get them another $200,000. And Christopher actually said that he was going to restructure the company again after that came in. But all that money that Christopher thought was coming in was all a decoy to get the money, the guy's millions of dollars back. Anyway, the guy who put millions and millions and millions of dollars into Goliath Ventures was from New York. He had taken all the money out of his family money and put it into Goliath Ventures. The dividends he was getting paid per month was about $500,000 a month. He, and you won't believe this, he was reinvesting $250,000 of those dividends a month, and he was paying to run his business and his staff wages with the other $250,000. He realized he lost everything. And those recordings that you heard that I just did of Jonathan were actually given to me by him. So don't think the Avengers don't know what's going on. Don't think that your intel doesn't make a difference to us. And don't think that we are sleeping on the job. We are busting for an update. We're waiting for the next person to be charged for criminal activity in regards to Goliath Ventures. I'm betting money it's going to be Nick Petrillo. He's an easy target. I'm betting money it's going to be Matt Burks. I'm betting money, Piers Curry. I know that Jonathan Mason has already been invested by the Alberta Security Commissions. All these other co-conspirators, the $175 million that they've been paid out, are they going to be made accountable? Well, if they aren't made accountable, what's the world coming to? What are these investigators doing if they're not still investigating Christopher Delgado? They must be investigating things. So don't lose hope. Let's get into this. So why the SEC and the CFT numbers are different? That was something I was thinking. People watching your live may notice that the agencies are using different totals. I did notice that. Thank you very much, ChatGPT. The SEC says at least 425 million. What are you doing in my chat room, Rob? Matt, who? What are you doing in here, mate? Look, look at you. You're just flooding my chat room with silly comments. So what are you asking? Matt, who? Well, if you haven't been here, Matt Burks. Matt Burks ran a company called Black Block, not to be mistaken as Black Rock. And he also ran another company of Piers Curry called WebMD, which was My Wealth Management. And they were both companies that were passing off other people's names. So that's what happens there. So anyway, so we've got SEC. So the SEC said 425 million, more than 1,300 investors. The CFTC says at least 397 million and approximately 1,600 customers, investors, different names. The SEC says Delgado personally misappropriated 51 million, and the CFTC material refers to 48 million. So you wonder whether they're reading the same document. That does not necessarily mean the agencies are wrong. In fact, I'll tell you something that you may not have realized, and that is that they had a lot of debt. I know one airline was owned 723K. We also know that they didn't pay for all their houses. What do they call their landlord fees they have when you have one of those buildings in town? So it was a lot of money that they were in debt with. That does not necessarily mean the agencies were wrong. As I just said, they are bringing cases in under different legislation, maybe identifying different categories of investors or transactions, and may have used different tracing methodologies or relevant periods. I don't know what that means. The safest way to explain this, federal authorities are now describing Goliath Ventures as roughly 400 million plus Ponzi operation, but those exact totals vary depending on the regulators and the transactions being counted. I'm just reading the chat room. It's actually quite, I don't know if you think this is a joke, Rob, but when you post, it catches my eye, and you often criticize me when I'm reading stuff. And if you're not really saying anything, posting something going, sleeping, I have hope, and her sister, and who of me, I am silly, isn't actually really helping me. So, and I don't want to remove you or put you in timeout, but it is actually quite distracting. And if you think this is a joke, then we're probably the wrong place for you. So federal authorities have now described Goliath as roughly a 400 million Ponzi scheme, so that's good to know. This also changes the director story. This may be part that becomes the most important for continuing this investigation. Christopher Delgado spent a considerable time portraying Goliath as something much broader than Christopher Delgado alone. And now the SEC independently confirms several structural facts. The directors were sales agents, and at one point they were calling them partners, and then a partner can't be called a partner if the partner doesn't have any control over the company, so it was just a label anyway, but now they call them sales agents. They solicited investors, meaning they went out there as, which is disgusting. They onboarded investors. That means you'll find contracts with their names on them. So that means they're liable in my eyes. So let's see if that comes out in the future. They distributed Goliath marketing material and JV agreements, joint venture agreements. They helped facilitate investors' transfers. They tracked investors' contributions and distributions. That means we actually have got... we've actually got recordings of the database. We've actually seen another database, which I can't even say whose database it is, but we've seen $135 million database from Mike Shimlinsky. I hope I said that right. And then we've got another database, which I can't mention, but we have access to, which has hundreds of investors. And we can see that they were divvying up the funds. So they weren't only sitting there as a salesman and then passing it on to Christopher to sign up. They were actually doing all the contracts. And the fact that the SEC and the CFTC have picked up on that is just beautiful. This is beautiful wine. And most importantly, they were paid commissions using investors' funds based on the amount of capital they raise. So it's just crazy. That doesn't establish criminal liability, but it doesn't Danny's opinion, and you can make your own opinion, for any particular director. That Goliath consisted of Christopher Delgado quietly sitting somewhere taking in all the $425 million for himself. So what we're saying is Christopher, he wasn't a one-man band. And it's just absolutely brilliant. The fact is that they are actually talking about this. And I hope that the Avengers and our co-conspirator list may have actually made them accountable for investigating other people involved with Goliath Ventures. Now, if you're reading these documents for the first time like I am, that's what I'm getting out of this. And the fact that Christopher's got a $51 million spend out of the $425 million, great. Because now we're looking for where's the other $350 odd million gone? We know it wasn't in the cars. We know it wasn't in the houses. And now we can actually see that they're looking at the co-conspirators. Now, as I said earlier on, Tomo, we've got your wallet address. We can see large amounts, hundreds of thousands of dollars being transferred around your lifestyle. Where have you been putting the money? Well, we're going to find out, are we? Are you going to be a speaker on Andrew Tate's boat? So if we went through here and we get to the stage where we go to about 100 and I think it's about there. So watch this. I'll just turn that sound off. But, here's Tomo. So that's Christopher, Tomo, Christopher, and Mike all sitting there in those three. And then if you come here enough, you'll actually see, I think we're going to have Tomo here in a minute. There he is. So here's Tomo speaking on Andrew Tate's boat. Now we see a yacht purchased for $2.9 million. We see the war room. And we also see the way these guys are treating women at the moment. Now, I'm not going to bring up Dante, but the way we've got filings of him and assault charges from his partner, his mother of his child, the way he's talking about how he's going to be managing people's OnlyFans accounts. We've got Tomo, who was married a stripper. When she got to 8.5 months pregnant, he ditched her. Not nice things to do, And now he's making other claims, which I can't bring up, but all sorts of weird and wonderful things like that. So you might think that's unusual, okay? Well, I think that's unusual. But I want to show you one other clip that absolutely makes me like fed up, just to be blunt. And hopefully I can find it in a hurry. I think it's that one. Yeah, I think it is. I'll just bring that onto my desktop. And I want to just show you, hopefully that's going to work. I'll just put that over there. Did that work, Danny? Let's just make sure I've got the right one first. I think I have. Let's have a look. Yep, I've found it. All right, so this is actually quite, if it shifts over to my desktop, life will be good. Let's see if it goes. Right click, you're going to work. It's downloading, won't be a second. Anyway, so what we did is we wrote to the police commissioner and we explained that Tomo is a naughty boy. Anyway, they ignored us and they decided to host him anyway. And he was a public speaker. So I'm going to, if I can get this downloaded, I might have to do it another way. I'll just see if I can do it another way. 1 second, please, caller. I could have prepared for this, but I didn't know I was going to get myself into a big rant. But I'm sure that's not really good. 1 minute. Oh, now I've done it. Now we've done it. 1 minute. We'll be back there in a second. I want to see if I can bring this over here. And we will play that. I think we can do that without criminating myself or anybody. Oh, there we go. All righty. So now what we're going to do, hopefully the sound comes through. Okay. Okay, so hopefully the sound comes through in this and you can hear it. But this is actually breathtaking.
Guys, we just ended an event, Armor Within, and I'm here with the Attorney General, Andy Wilson. Andy, you're like a living specimen of what everything that we do is about. So health, wellness, everything like that. How old are you?
I'm 50. I'll be 52 in a month.
So he's lying about that. He's probably 32. But what is it that you are doing as top cop in Ohio for wellness and health and really longevity in the space?
Look, number one, I'm talking about it. Everywhere I go, every department, every chief, every sheriff that I talk to, I talk about the importance of what I call proactive wellness. And that is arming your folks with, again, physical fitness, mental toughness, emotional wellness, so that they can off-gas and properly handle the traumas that we know that they're going to face in this job. And by doing that, we will make them healthier across the board. Not just better able physically to do their job, emotionally and mentally to do their job, but long-term past the career, making sure that they're healthy long into retirement. And we owe that to all of our officers, and more importantly, we owe that to the public we serve. That when you call 911, when the public calls 911, they need to get the best version of the officer that they can get who shows up to help them on their worst hour at their worst minute. So that's what we're out here promoting, and it all comes down to just being intentional about it, talking about it, addressing it, and then proactively going out there and taking care of ourselves.
Amen. And a man who practices what he preaches.
I try.
You are doing it every single day.
I try.
And I hope to see you on a jiu-jitsu mat or in the gym sometime.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So,
guys, we just ended an event.
If you were reading between the lines there, I think that was the station, or that was the area that Tomo did his time. So no doubt that guy knows him, and it looks like he's works out. But then you've got Tomo here at an Andrew Tate event, where we know that Andrew Tate kicked him out of the war room. And here's Tomo skiting that he was one of 31 speakers that spoke at Andrew Tate events. So how can somebody be speaking into the Ohio Attorney General event? Now, think about this. We wrote to the event that Tomo was speaking at, and we sent them an email showing them his connection to Goliath Ventures. And we even showed them that he was a speaker here at Andrew Tate's event, and they still hosted him. Maybe Tomo is an undercover cop, and maybe he's working undercover with Goliath Ventures. But when you look into his wallet address and you see a whole lot of money being distributed around the time when Christopher was paying everyone as directors, you can read between the lines. So let's go back. This wasn't what this blog was all about today. I'm actually going to do another one. But the SEC describes an organized recruitment structure surrounding him. And the CFTC reported $174 million figure to directors and staff. Makes the financial scale of that network extraordinary. So in short, I'm going to actually read what what I was actually meant to read you guys rather than the guidelines that I get from ChatGPT. But while you're listening to this, I'm actually going to show you something about Goliath Ventures, just so you can really figure out what part did people like Tomo actually play. So listen to this for a sec.
What has happened in the last 24 hours is much bigger than another article about Christopher Delgado. We now have both the SEC and the CFTC coming into this case. The SEC says Goliath raised at least $425 million and never invested any of that investor money into the crypto liquidity pools people were told existed. Christopher Delgado allegedly took at least $51 million personally, which is an enormous amount of money. But here's the number that jumped out at me. The CFTC material says around $174 million went to directors and staff, often through recruitment commissions. So this wasn't simply $400 million going into Christopher Delgado's pocket. Hundreds of millions were circulating through Ponzi payments, commissions, staff, luxury spending, events, and the machinery that kept Goliath looking successful. The SEC says about $281 million was being used to pay supposed investment returns with other investors' money. Another $53 million was allegedly being spent maintaining the appearance that this was a successful, legitimate business. And perhaps most importantly, the SEC says there were no Goliath liquidity pool investments at all. The online balances were fictitious, the investment performance was fictitious, and the ledger supposedly showing liquidity pool activity was fake. That fundamentally changes the conversation. This isn't regulators saying Goliath made bad investments. They're alleging the investment operation investors were shown simply didn't exist.
Wow. You know, every time I do one of these lives, I listen to these words and I think, you know, what really annoys me, as you probably realize, is seeing him on Channel 9 News getting the opportunity. Now, the other thing that I've got no proof of whatsoever, Christopher seems to be nowhere to be seen. We've got photos or videos of his girlfriend doing, I don't even know if I can bring this up. TikTok. How do you do TikTok these days? TikTok. What's her name? Zia, isn't it? Zia, Zine, I don't know, Zapier? I don't even know, but I don't even know if I can do this. But anyway, actually, I will bring it up because it's actually quite funny. Well, it's not funny if you hear, but she's got bad acne, everybody, and it's not nice. But what we're trying to do is we'd like to have any evidence, because Darlene Jones reckons that, she reckons that everything's normal and Christopher's in the house. And we don't believe that's true.
How fucking used.
Oops, excuse my French. I'm just trying to look it on my inbox. So since then, I think I've had my, I did have a, here it is. She's now blocked me because she didn't like me commenting on it. I did actually tell her that I used to have bad skin when I was young. And it wasn't nice. But when you grow up, it does go disappear. Now, what have I got wrong here, Danny? We've got TARZEPER. And it probably won't let me see it unless I'm logged in. Oh, there it is. So this is Christopher's partner, and there's no proof that Christopher's not here. So let's go. What have we got? Got it? So you can hear her raving on about her skin.
I am on 20 milligrams 2 times a day, so that's 40 mg a day.
Hold it. There we go.
On my skin, I feel like my skin has not really changed too much. I'm still breaking out, but hasn't gotten to the purging too much. I feel like this is where I kind of started at. The side effects have definitely kicked in. I will say I have to have Aquifer on me at all times. I also use...
So if I was a psychologist, and I'm not, I would look at this girl and I think there's a girl that's been through an emotional roller coaster in her life. She's living in an $8 million house with potentially Chris. The cupboards in the background are actually the same cupboards that were behind Christopher when he was being interviewed by Darlene Jones. But we haven't seen any sightings of Christopher for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm betting that he's already incarcerated. I think because his shenanigans and being on TV and doing interviews with Darlene Jones, I reckon that's where he is. So if you've got any proof to prove that he's not still in the mansion, I would love to see it. I don't see why somebody should be living in a mansion where you probably can't even afford to pay the power bill anymore. I think it's uneconomical. So they will be doing repo. But in the meantime, this was posted, I think, 3 days ago now, 6 days ago. We've still got Tyre actually posting messages in here. Now, I wouldn't be associating with this girl if I was you either, because you'll probably become a person of interest if you are. So when you're posting comments on people like this, I mean, what we do as investigators, we go, who's this girl? What's her connection to her? Is she a sister, a friend? We don't know. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But anyway, the last point I wanted to share before I get into my blog
One
today.
more point I would emphasize during the live, $174 million to directors and staff versus roughly $48 to $51 million personally attributed to Delgado, is an extraordinary comparison. It raises an obvious next investigative question. Who received that $174 million? How much did each person receive? And what did they know while they were being paid? That is likely where the next chapter of this investigation becomes very interesting.
Right. So isn't that absolutely cool? Yeah, and that's what we discovered. Now, just before we get into other things, I just wanted to show you something pretty cool. Yesterday, we did a pretty cool investigation, and it was a live. And sometimes my lives go on for quite a bit. So what I did yesterday is I put out this one, and it was a 5.5 hour stream where you can destroy your
If
iPhone.
you're looking at my
or your
videos,
Samsung phone.
sometimes I'm nice
any other
enough
phone you've got,
to
because
actually
you're not
put
actually downloading
timestamps
an app from the Apple App Store or the Google.
So why I want to do this part.
So yesterday we had a bit of fun, and we actually managed to find a scam that's selling a fake IP television. You get a box and you put it by your TV, but it's actually just a recruitment opportunity. And I used a thing for the first time ever called Python. And Python basically allowed me to use ChatGPT to create a script to go through their affiliate database. Oh my goodness, it's working. I've got to show you this. This is incredible.
And this is all public information.
This is the first time ever, right? So look at this. We're going to go through the whole company database. I can't believe this is amazing. This is going to be so useful for us. All right, so what you can see here, I'm glad it's blurry, but we've used Python and used Terminal on a Mac, ran a script, and it's gone through and got the first person's first name, last name, phone number, and email address. We scraped over 800 people's names who have been involved in the scam. And now what we're going to do, which is even, it gets more exciting if you're me, but that would be all right. But I'm going to show you, we'll flip screens. But what that means is now we have a database of all these people, just all these people that have now been involved in a scam. And it's so exciting that we can actually now go in and use that information to actually, cause disruption. It's absolutely batshit crazy, and it's quite exciting. So if you aren't familiar with what we've been doing lately, yesterday we did a bit of, scam investigations. So let's just show you a couple of those investigations, how they go on. We did an investigation on a guy called Hank Wilton, and we managed to find his details, So I'm just going to bring up a couple of these meetings, and then we're going to see, we won't do these today, but yesterday we had a field day. And if you go through the blog that we did, I'll get rid of coffee, no offense, coffee. If we went through the blog, we went into these Zoom meetings, and we listen to these people, what they're peddling.
I don't know for sure. I don't know. Somebody said we are, but I'm not sure. 60 Spanish language channels. If we don't have the most, we're certainly near the very top.
So here they are talking about the TV box that they're selling. And then the rest of the presentation was actually all about the recruitment and how much money you're going to get if you throw your friends and family over. So when we was on the yesterday's live, we actually started ringing up people that we grabbed from the database. And we also started doing an investigation on other individuals that we saw in the meeting. Now, why I'm telling you this is because if you went to my website now, after using the scripts that we did use, Oh my goodness, that didn't come up. Why didn't that come up? That's interesting. Interesting. 1 minute, please, caller. I want to show you. What do we call this thing? Nova Scott. Now that was interesting. I don't know why that didn't work. His name's in there. So it didn't come up in the search engine. I might need to rebuild my search engine. But what we've got now is we've actually got people whose details appeared in the referral system. These are people that don't know that their names are now in the public arena. And what that means is we'll be able to generate a lot of intel from those individuals because they will search for their name and then they will come up and wonder, so if I search for this guy's name because I know he's been in transit card, you can now see that their names, Shirley Johnson is one of those names, but because his name's mentioned, and this has been indexed in the last 24 hours, that now their names, when they search for information about themselves, their names are going to come up in the search engines. People are going to click on that there, and they're going to find a tag of the article, and they won't want their names there. So then we negotiate with these people, and we ask, what were they doing in that Zoom meeting? Why did they think this was a good opportunity? And before long, we can now produce another blog to expose the scam even further. So, for example, they've had a breach of their privacy. Everyone that signs up for a TV thing, we now have their database. Would Netflix do something like that? Of course not. Anyway, so that's basically all I had for you today with announcements. And today I have got another investigation. I'll just shut down this thing. So we've got Tomo doing a speech to Andrew Tate that has now been alleged or accused of doing heinous things to women, sex trafficking, money laundering, the whole 9 yards. Whether it's true or not, I'll let you decide. Tomo's doing speeches to Andrew Tate on cruise ships that we now might be thinking, did Christopher pay the bill for those cruise ship? We did want to know what yacht he got for $2.9 million. Anyway, and then you've got Eric McNeil, who has emailed me after employing or using Matt Burks as operations manager for the Onyx Reserve. These guys are also driving around in Lamborghinis and flash cars, doing the same thing. And there's another guy who's associated with Jonathan Mason, who claims that the next best scam is actually luxury real estate. And that's why we were thinking, why did Christopher buy all that real estate near the end of his career? Especially sending most of them had mortgages on them. That's what we were fascinated with. So anyway, so we're going to do an investigation on Eric McNeil and Tom Shears, who are two individuals who reached out to us, and when we reached back to them with questions, they didn't answer us. CoffeeZilla has already done an investigation on them. I've got the transcript from this, and we're going to use it. It's going to be pretty cool. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're working on. So that's what I want to tell you. As I said at the start of this here, it was funny to see them talking about how Christopher was a house of cards. We've done, I think, 80 blogs on Goliath Ventures, and the very first one that we did was talking about how Christopher was a house of cards and it was going to fall over. We won't do any Zoom meetings today, but if you do have any links, do let us know. They're quite comical. And oh yes, this is what I wanted to show you. Now this is really important because this is GoliathVenturesInc.com. Bob, you're not going to distract me too much, but I will take your phone call. You can sit there for a wee while. Wait a minute, Bob. Oh, where is he? Give me the link. Whereabouts?
It's the same number, 502. It's always the same way.
All right, but you need to find a way of messaging me. Anyway, I just want to finish this off here. So we're going to build this into a blog. This was the Teams page for Goliath Ventures. So we've got Christopher, Nick Petrillo, Alex, Matt Burks, Matthew. We've talked to Matthew before. We've got David Panzak, Michael Hernandez, Steve Davis. We've even got the travel director, James Delgado, Hunter Smallback, who works with his mummy, Tomo, Mike, Punic Shaw, Vince Grietta, Chase Holiday, Marty Brimmerer, whatever his name is. So all these people were there, and now we're wondering where this $174 million is gone. Well, I think I know. Do you know? Let's see how much money they can squeeze out of these stones. All right, so now we're going to have a break. We'll stop here for a second, and we'll go to, what was the name of the scam? Is it Novatech?
Novacast.
Novacast. Scotty Greatness? I think I've got it here. Hank, let's see. So this is the guy with
sometimes
here he is. He's going to let me in. He will always let me in.
I mean, it's a better way.
Come in as
Look, he knows who I am. He looks, look at that. So keep your sound going so we can hear him.
Anyways, yeah, we're not letting anybody in this late. So, anyways,
you let me in, stupid.
The thing that's so important, Jack, I'm glad you picked up on that, is
they know this. This is so funny.
Companies back then, and
I'm recording
too. What it was like for people to try to
Marty,
build business. Literally, most people were trying to train people, and there's a big reason why a lot of people didn't succeed outside of some.
It's funny because one guy's named Admin. I wonder if he's one of the IT support guys.
What I'll do is we will go to our, and this is why it's so important, this sort of stuff. Let's go. We're going to go to Novacast, I should say. And they won't be able. What's he doing?
No, Ruben, the guy who has a fake funding solution company.
Oh, yeah. All right. So now we know all the names of their directors. So if I go down here, I can grab one of these names because they will be watching us now. And I will grab.
Good questions.
Put him in the weight room. Yeah, so Ruben, Ladarcia Hudson.
I know there's a time.
Ruben, how are you doing, buddy?
Here we go. Let's see. I'm going to open up a couple of other browsers.
Not just customers.
Are they talking about me?
Customers, the same thing as
No, he's not right now.
Yeah, so great question. I don't know what.
The one guy was complaining that he wasn't getting paid. He's like, I haven't got paid my $10.
It's not important. You got to have belief.
Most of the time, it's a lot quicker than that. Okay. But I haven't heard any of the time frame related to anything else.
Okay, so we've got 2 meetings. We'll go for another one.
But they are, I got them in.
If they didn't get an email, they need to send in a ticket right away.
Mr. Redman. Oh, you know I'm like on TV.
That I didn't know, but I did.
All these names that were in this list, though, are very basic names.
That's an off thing.
Hey, go home, Danny boy. So this is what they're doing in the chat room at the moment. If you go over here, you can see I've got
James Copland. James Copland. Smile. Oh.
Oh, that was silly. I know what I did wrong. I actually used the guy's name who's policing the room, and they'll be watching us now anyway.
Frank Thomas.
Yeah, look, he's removed me.
What's up, Dano? Liz Dill.
Yeah, they won't.
Well, we have everybody's name, so we can just put whoever the hell we want.
That's what I'm doing. But I shouldn't have used the guy who's policing the room's name. Silly me. That's why I didn't get in.
Jane and Austin.
You just train them to do just what you do. They share Novacast.
Shared Novacast.
Sign up. They'll sign up as a
Jeff Salam's in the room
or
tonight.
An affiliate or subscriber and affiliate. And you
Mike
just
Barton
enroll people and sign them up. And it's kind of like
it's all about recruitment, eh? That's all it is.
Take care of themselves along the way.
Of course, but what's the segue into the affiliate becoming active, like a regular subscriber who wants his 5 or 6, so it net zero the cost of this.
All their names that we've got are really basic, though.
Qualified, so you earn your commissions. And you
have to qualify. I love this. You have to qualify to get your commissions now.
Yeah, you have to have, even if a church joins, they still have to have 2 customers for you to earn.
Oh my God. So you're never going to earn. They call me Danny the Molester. Isn't that lovely? How do they know? How do they know that? So it's just crazy.
Can you go live with your camera, please, Jessica?
Jessica. That's the name I'll use. What's her last name? Jessica what?
Thank you. Welcome. I'll have you unmute.
Hi, sorry. I just had a quick question. I might have missed it.
Jessica.
Do we have an update with the
Jessica Prince.
the Nova?
See if we find her in our database.
Prince.
But I don't know if I missed that or not.
No. Well, the update is that we're probably going to hear something tomorrow. So
Okay.
we get the word tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
It's always tomorrow, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thanks.
But they're
Waste of your time, totally useless effort. This is not totally useless, mate. We've got your whole database.
Here's
And they do know I am compiling everything, and we'll send that. It's a nice little wrap package to that.
we talked about this
To
very
ACE,
beginning. We haven't talked about it a lot
which is
lately. And it is
which
just
reports piracy. And I'm sending it to Bloomberg, and I'm sending it to NFL. So one of those lawyers will say, "What the fuck?" and we'll come after every single one of you people.
More than the three you need, but it's halfway to 10.
Here we go.
You
Tell
don't
them.
mess with sports.
You're open to go when you look at a basic building block.
Philly Goose, that Danny boy. I mean, what are these kids or something? Why not answer the questions?
To take you to the very top. Since our very top is just 10, and that's whether it's 10 subscribers and 10 affiliates or 10 and they're each together. Either way, it's fine.
Jessica, not happy.
When you get your second 5, you get your third 5. Well, you don't know what your 5 are going to be. You don't know if they're all going to be subscribers.
So you have to get 5 people before you even get it. Woolly Stroker.
You might have 3 affiliates that 2 of them are subscribers, 1 doesn't want to subscribe, and then you just got 2 plain subscribers. It could be anything.
Do you plug a cable into your phone? Or you holding it near the speaker?
Get 5, and then you get another 5, and another 5,
Because it's pretty clear.
And you'll over time have enough subscribers, enough affiliates.
My phone is right next to it.
Okay, we're going to use William Stroker as a name.
This guy looks like he's an affiliate marketer.
Oops, screwed up my hat.
Also, somebody asked about that sheet, so I believe the sheet it's in the back.
This is why we have to output everybody before they start changing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this lady's like 60. Linda, what are you doing?
Yeah, but also it's in your back office too.
It's in your back office. So yeah, so this is an illegal copyrighted TV.
Go ahead, brother. You're up next.
You're up
You
next.
should write in the chat. How's Belinda Hayes doing?
Yes, sir. Well, one thing I want to add, thanks, guys. You guys always do a great job. Pleasure to be here.
Why would they call me a molester?
Is that the standard?
So he's watching us now. Why don't you come into the chat room, Hank? Hanky Panky? Obviously, he's got child molester on his brain. So,
you should say Hector's talking very well right now.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do that.
By the way, when I say 5 blocks of 5, that's your minimum. That is your minimum. That's not a maximum. That's a minimum. That's the first step.
You have to find 5 people before you get paid?
5 more. It doesn't matter if it takes you 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, 6 hours. It's 5
Yeah, that's how the 61 people in the room are doing.
For your first 5, the next 5 will be shorter. The next 5 will be shorter.
Yeah.
And that you're getting everything that you're going to need.
Put that in his YouTube chat. How's the 61 people, Hank?
To get their 5, right?
We managed to get 800 people out of your database yesterday.
How much does that equate to?
So I'll put this in the chat room because we know that Hank is actually
You've got 5 subscribers, and if you're doing the affiliates separate, or if you get 5 subscribers, 5 affiliates, as soon as you have 5 pure subscribers,
doing 5 by 5.
That's worse than Megan's. Megan got 3.
I was wondering if this is, I've got removed. I didn't like that comment.
Another question.
Are you able to go live? Your camera?
Yeah, we have to. Oh, look, he's got pissed off now. Everyone's getting removed.
Please.
Gotta get your microphone.
No, it's already live. I'm outside in the dark, so it's going to. Okay, sounds good.
Oh, yeah. So it doesn't sound like Danny.
Good evening, y'all. Man, this is getting my juices flowing.
Juices. Ooh. I can just hear Queen of Karma going, ooh, now.
Statement, if you will. And here's just what I think. I'm big on science when it comes to
Crypto G. Nice.
I'm a team. I'm a strategist. Scotty, you said something so true earlier.
So true.
When
good job,
what it takes to completely 100% benefit from the
We've got a new person in the chat as well.
Then it's going to be hit or miss for most people.
Scarlett.
So another very important
Look at that.
building block.
That's what I want all my Avengers looking like.
Compensation plan
I'm going to
is
go back to the
no
start
matter
now and see if I can find
level
Scarlet.
every affiliate has to be
People asking
active
questions.
before they count for it.
I still
Which means
surprised
they
as a
have
real
to have
estate agent.
one
Carolyn Latini.
subscriber or customer.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So one thing that would be smart to do is teach
Deborah Mack. I bet she's related to Mika Mack.
from a distributor.
The Avenger amongst. Look at that. So there's Scarlet Quill.
Know who you're talking to. That's why it's best when you're talking to people and you get rid of the enrolling.
That's what you need, Bob. Are you looking at the screen, my screen at the moment? You need to set yourself up so you look like this.
Do you want to make a little or do you want to make a lot?
Do you want to make a little or do you want to make a lot?
You wouldn't want someone like
There she is.
If you want to call him, that'd be hilarious.
I want to see exactly what it takes to.
Looking good, Scarlet.
And then I'm going to work backwards, right?
Ooh, be your first subscriber.
Talk about becoming a distributor with someone that's a builder, right?
A builder. Oh, he sound like. Hey, while we listen to that, I'll see if I can find another one with Megan in it.
I've been in the streaming industry for 5 years, Danny.
Have you really?
Netflix subscriber.
Yeah.
With 10 customers and 10 subscribers and 10 active leads.
So what are you selling? This is so funny. They forget that they're selling something. It's all about recruiting.
And you show people how to.
Hank's like, this guy's not really asking a question.
You're going to make sure you qualify on all levels. The next one is then showing that person how to become a distributor because you're going to need one.
They won't let you back in? They didn't like the meeting.
No, they're not letting anyone in at this late stage because I accidentally logged myself in as Hank. so Hank's Hank is the person policing the meeting, and somebody called Hank was entering the meeting. Not the wisest thing I did. So he figured out it was me. So I know. Oh, I did, but then they said we're not letting anyone else in the room at this late stage because they realise it's me. They're onto us, but anyway, we've got enough evidence to show that they are going to get done for
every single person into action when you say
the sounds here though.
Because I'm 30% selfish,
70% selfish. It's like, how is he still in there?
These guys, these are like people chasing fool's gold, and they're telling you how they're going to spend the money before they get it, and all they don't care.
Let's see, Hudson, Gray Line Funding Solutions. Nice big company, my friend.
Is he? Hey, ring him. Oh, you're on my phone. What's do we have his phone number? The guy that's talking? Yeah, give me his phone number. What's his name?
Oh, hey, the guy who's talking right now is True Freedom.
True Freedom. Let's do this. This is going to be funny. Truth.
I'll hang up. Hold on.
No, you stay here. Truth. Hold up. Oh, he's gone. Now I can't hear Bob. Get yourself back in here. I haven't got Truth Freedom. Bob, you're not the brightest tool in the shed. You were giving us the sound. Get your ass back in here. Friggin' heck. God, this guy's funny sometimes. All right, let's go back. We'll go ring up Bob and ask him, can he come back? Because we need his voice. We need the sound. So that's quite funny. Bob, we need your sound.
What?
We need your sound. We were broadcasting your sound of what they're talking about. But I can't find anyone called True Freedom or anyone with free in it. Oh, hold it. Thai Freedom.
Are the reasons.
I've got no phone number though.
Team True Freedom. You must be in one of those groups.
Well, I've got a TIA Freeman, but not Freedom. How do you spell his first name?
Hey, Jarvis, thank you so much for adding that value in there. And
Jarvis.
Ask you a question, brother.
Jarvis Bailey. All right.
That's right.
Yeah, that could be him. Let's cancel.
He's on his cell phone right now.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to cause some disruption. Watch this. Let's give him a ring. Yep. Chat room. Jarvis Bailey. Okay. Is he wearing a pink top? Is he slightly black?
I don't know. He's in the dark. He's in the dark right now.
Oh, let's bring him up. Here we go. This is going to be funny.
You get one subscriber that dropped off. No, and now all of a sudden I'm not.
This is going to be freaking hilarious. Let's see if we can disrupt them.
Because the requirements are so deep based on what you see in other companies. It's such a breath of fresh air. Absolutely not.
You probably say displaying. Someone's calling.
Does he look like it?
I can't see him. He's in the dark.
Show you a picture of them.
Barbara Allen, Belinda Hayes.
Have you got people with cameras on? So this is the guy that we think's talking at the moment.
Their mind because they got a team of 25 and they've never done it before. And they're like, what?
He has some crazy eyes, though.
What's going to happen over here in
He's got glasses on.
Deanna,
people are going to scare themselves.
People are going to scare themselves.
Gino Nicolai, the guy with the white mustache, he's on.
Nicole, has he got his camera on?
No, he turned it off. He was on before. But
have you got any with cameras on and names?
Belinda Hayes.
Belinda.
Hector.
Belinda. Belinda. Oh, I've got Belinda's Hayes and we've got a phone number. Okay, we'll ring her up. Oh my God, this is great. We don't normally get all this information. So now we can watch her answer her phone.
You're going to be spending $150.
Here we go, chat. And we'll ring her. See if she answers her phone.
50%,
looking at it.
Oh, good. Hello, Belinda. What should I say? You're going to speak to her. Oh, I'll speak to her. I don't know what to say.
How's the webinar going?
How's the webinar going?
Oh, hey guys, say hi.
I'll tell her that the meeting's been broadcasted live.
And
she needs to tell Hank.
Yeah, just to max out the comp plan. And
yeah, that's key.
Contrast to 90% of the other opportunities.
She's definitely looking at her phone.
Oh, damn, I'm trying to get the no answer. Did she hang up?
No, she's off screen. She's like looking at
I'll ring her back.
She's definitely looking at her phone. I should text her.
What I need to do is find her name and then bring up her, so when she looks at the screen, she's going to freak out.
And I don't see
Belinda. And then what she look like? Is she an older lady?
Yeah, she's an older lady. She has glasses.
Glasses.
Black earrings. Gray hair.
Freelance. Can you see my screen? Is she curly?
Yeah, curly hair.
Oh yeah. Have I got it?
Where the higher percentages.
I don't know. I'm not looking at your screen. I'm recording.
Let's connect with her. This is how you find out. You connect with them, they block you, and you go back there, and then all of a sudden you don't see the profile. Then you know you've got the right person.
Normally, the percentage as you go, if the percentage moves.
So now I'm going to actually get her photo. Right click on it.
Overcast to put 20%.
Ramon. Peter P. Karen Schoolfield.
I think she's in Liberian, is she? No. I think we found her. Academy. Stress.
Direct to people. What are the chances everybody in the company can get one person?
Oh, look about this. Don't they realize that the world's hasn't got enough stupid people for them to make this work?
The compensation plan pays for us to, participate in that behavior. That's another huge thing.
We'll give her a photo of herself.
All right, I hope you don't mind me calling you down. Let me know. No. That's
No. We're going to be rich together. We're going to be rich together.
Right, $100 and then $10.
$100. Oh, no, that's not her. That's a university lady in New Zealand. I don't think it's going to be her. So let's delete that message. Wrong person. Throwing the wrong person under the bus. Belinda Hayes. I bet if I do a search for this and something else, that.
Actually drinking water right now. Smart water looks like.
Oh, yeah.
You can write that in the chat. For the person drinking the smart water, hello.
She's in the white pages. Nova is old people because only old people watch TV. We can hear that, Nev. Now, that's discrimination there, Nev, because I'm an old person. I watch TV, but I don't actually. I watch YouTube and Netflix.
Like, she's like, worry out her skull. Like,
I'll ring her up again. Hello.
Subscribe and
I'd find Ruben. Like, yo,
check out Belinda. She this is like joining the dots without no dots. Quite funny, isn't it? Oh my goodness.
Oh, she left her webcam.
Oh, she'll be trying to figure out who's ringing now.
We have
okay.
Decent size.
Yep.
How do I get with you, Scotty, so I can say the right things for one of my
Uh-oh. No answer. Why don't people want to answer their phones? Isn't it weird? It's like I'm too scared to. They rung me. Okay. Sorry about that. Don't ring me again or I'll get really frustrated. Okay. Promise it won't ring you again. That's not what we do.
Let me know what you're doing. Get some times at work and we'll get on a call.
Great day, Scotty. Have a great day today.
Oh, we should be ringing Scotty. That's who I should be ringing. Silly me.
No. You let him do the webinar. You ring Dale and Christy.
We haven't got Hank's number yet. Voicemail. Now watch Scott now. See what he does.
Help my guys too. Everybody.
Absolutely.
We're all going to be rich. Is he doing anything?
I'll just ask again because I know his Bruce, want to come on up.
Come on up to the stage and tell everyone how wonderful we are. If you say anything negative, we will kick you off. I mean, even those words are so true.
A few things I'll share with you guys today. So this is one where we can all help.
Here we go. They'll report me.
So of all the people who have subscribed, they all get the welcome letter. And when they go to the place where the players are, the very first step is a video. The interesting thing, they can track who watches the video and how much they watch. Only 32% of the people are watching the video.
Oh.
So the very first thing you do is watch the main video, then that takes you, and the next step is go to the player that is one designated.
Yeah, too. Bye-bye, Scotty.
So just tell me about some of the things that are coming in and people swearing that, they're doing the right thing. And once again, he said 90+% is user error. He said, and a lot of it is because they don't watch the first video. He said, we know that.
Okay.
He said, so if you're a subscriber
that's what Netflix has a lot of problem with. Not.
They have to watch like 5 videos up on Netflix.
It's going to give you some very important steps before you go to your actual player that you're going to download.
That's right, because you have to make sure you use a VPN so that they can't track the copyright issues.
I'm going to teach them how to
make that doesn't help you when you use your credit card to subscribe.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm writing tomorrow, right? Dear Stripe, you're helping facilitate an illegal service, and you have 72 hours to shut down the Stripe account before I forward your information to the NFL, NHL. What do you think Stripe's going to do?
Well, probably
look. You think they'll sacrifice their account for $49.99 not to be able to process NHL like merchandise?
Hey, what's Chavez up to lately? I haven't seen him for a wee while.
His meetings are the worst, man. I was in the middle of like, oh my god, I'm so bored.
Personal runner.
Just try to enter. It's a random name. Let's see if they let you in by mistake.
Okay, I'll do one. We will use Oprah, and they'll probably think we've given up now, you see. But now that, remember, he's listening to us and he's watching us.
That was
We're going to go into Hector Marina.
With Scotty. I've got to find the link now. Scotty Greatness.
trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, and
Yes, I'm coming in as Frank Melendez.
Thursday night is training.
Thursday night is training. One-to-many is the stupidest name for things ever.
Consider doing?
Make yourself a list of one-to-minis.
One-to-minis.
Right around where you live.
Yeah. And knock on people's doors.
Independent restaurant.
Belinda's back.
Dry cleaner. Insurance agent.
What's her name? Belinda.
Oh. You do business with, people you know. It could be right where you live. It could be somebody you know.
Belinda. I'll go in as Belinda Hayes.
Singles.
I'll go Belinda Hayes. iPad, yeah.
Retail shop or single location.
At least we'll get a mention. Here we go.
Very local, relatively small compared to companies that have thousands of people or even more. So just start making a little list of that, guys, because
Make
this
a little
is our
list.
low-hanging fruit. This is our low-hanging fruit.
I love the way they call this low-hanging fruit.
Should be hearing more on that here within the next few days as well. And so with all this getting ready to come, we're going to have such a massive value proposition to be able to go and sit down, and if you get with us,
oh, he's saying night, Danny.
Small ones in our general area.
This guy's going to be abusing all their visitors. So they've got 60 people in here anyway, haven't they?
55.
55.
They're making $4.99, $5 a piece.
So I'm like, you do so much better than us, man. Only 55.
Hey, I got an idea. What about what's the name of the guy that ran Transit Card?
On a monthly basis. And the only
No,
thing
who ran it?
Oh, now you really
just be
what about what's our friend's called?
You know that guy in Transit Card? He's on the article.
Transit Card founder. Transit Card founder.
For Trade Act, because they want to do business.
New York City.
Business.
Zachary Brown.
Small business owners are barely getting by. Now they might.
You have to say a name and enter somebody else.
I am doing that. He's not letting me in, and he's writing messages to me.
72 months. And I'm not saying
he loves me. He wants to have my babies, and he's also watching the video, and he's too scared to come in here.
So much.
You should write back. You know, Belinda's recording for us.
The ability to help take some of the financial pressure off. Remember,
hey Hank, if you're listening, Belinda Hayes is screen recording the meeting for us.
Going to help them at zero cost to them.
That's why she's intently looking at her screen. She's watching the recording button.
Customers, and over the next
along with Danny's most hated person, Karina Seaman, is also our mole.
And income through customer appreciation.
Yeah,
that's going to be a hard conversation. I'm going to record a little video that goes with it. Then, obviously, if you're talking to restaurant owner, pull up restaurants, talking to retail, pull up retail.
And there is one other person in this room.
I mean, literally, either they want to do something.
He has a mustache.
That's going to show their customers.
Do you know who it is?
No.
For free.
Well, there's 5 people with mustaches. Jim Gergen.
That's okay if the numbers go.
Jeff the Lamb has a mustache.
And at $4.99, basically $5 each. Help them each get $300 to $500 over the next year.
I don't think Tony has a mustache.
$1,500, $5 each.
He's clean shaven.
6 figures in income with what you do in your other team.
Be interesting to see Charlie.
They got a few. And if everybody has 2 or 3 each get $300 to $500 over the next year.
All right, I think we're boring our people. I better carry on because I've got to. I don't think he's doing any good. But anyway, if you haven't kept up with current events, ladies and gentlemen, we actually monitor Zoom meetings. And this is one called Novatech, which I need to redo my Novatech investigation, actually. We need to find all the dirt we can on them, sort of prove to people, you know, what they're doing and what they're not doing.
You guys are starting to pick up on that. The me in the mirror.
I'll send it to you once it's done.
All of us, myself included.
You never do.
Anyway.
You say that. No, you won't. Because you never do.
It's almost over.
Is it?
Any more questions? Tomorrow night, 9 p.m.
With us when we exit for the night. We uncamera, we unmute, just kind of shout out, nice little good night or whatever you like to shout for the night. So
here we go.
Scotty from Prospect, lots of love. Have a beautiful night.
Yell out. Scam. Danny DeHick. Danny DeHick's in here. Danny's been in here. Good night, Hank. We're coming after you, Hank. Hi, Hank. G'day, Hank. How you doing, Hank? We're coming after you, mate. TikTok.
Only America. God bless America.
God bless scammers.
That's right. That's the deal.
That's the deal. That's the deal. We've got all your names and phone numbers. Hey, Belinda Hayes, we're going to give you a ring. Hey, Belinda, answer your phone. Phone's ringing, Belinda.
So, Scotty, if I need to speak
to you about my $10 commission, who do I speak to?
we didn't go look, that's what they got in there.
What's he saying?
Yeah, for the people.
Yeah, of course.
That's a great day.
But I was looking more for the subscribers so we could do that and show it did good. So these two ladies, I mean, I've already got in touch with Safeway PAO.
Safeway PAO.
Is what they call it. They're supposed to call me back. That's why I was saying, how do I get you and Marlene and Karen and then remember JT, Jack Turkey guy?
Yeah.
He's the #1 sales rep for EXU in Texas. And throughout the whole thing, and remember I sent you that white paper. So how do I get you with them to coach them how to? Because they're asking, well, how do I talk? Well, JT knows how to do it, but the two ladies don't. So coming from you is that me, even though I'm in the backyard, they trust me. Coming from
He's in the backyard. What?
Ruben, what's duplicatable is to share a training video.
I do, and I tell them, go back off, go back off this, go back off this, go back off this.
Oh my goodness.
Scotty's, I'm just saying, you know, obviously Scotty said,
make it easy. That's why I'm
asking.
Yeah, man.
And there's a video in our Telegram group. You can send him a YouTube video. Boom, done. Just watch this and
I guess he's gonna sneak into there soon.
Or what you love about it. Yeah,
okay.
That's what our video. Yeah, we are still recording with them. We're still recording.
We're still recording. Why do they record the meetings for? It's just such a waste of time.
Let's take out the recording.
We'll all get there together. We'll all learn as we're growing. And remember, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person.
What the heck does that mean? Hey, everyone, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do.
Amazing new benefit and non-medical.
Danny, we have to go scroll back and find his Vimeo account.
Give them an extra $250, $500 a month. That is powerful. If you're running a company, you're HR, vice president of human resources, whatever.
You'd be the worst, my friend.
If you have the ability to bring out.
I don't know how to answer why you haven't been paid your $10.
That's it. Dollar saved is just as good as a dollar earned.
We're making you an image, Neville.
Martha,
Just seeing if
Martha S in our database?
All right, so I think this is boring most people. So I think we need to Novita is old people because TVs. Hurry up and hang up, Scotty. Got any greatness? Because you're not that great for me.
Martha S.
And by the way, guys, that's another thing when we talked about the Jarvis, I think brought up the 20%.
Who the fuck is this Jarvis guy?
The biggest reason for the 20% where it is if you take it away, this does not have a value for any of the churches. Doesn't have value.
Churches. I can't believe they're going after the churches. Like
there's already one church signed up.
Traditional networking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to have a serious call with that.
More than that, or
I'm like, this is illegal. Like, I know you're a church, but like.
Hey, this is interesting what I'm doing at the moment. we've actually got my music, and we're actually updating. We're adding all my music into these onto our YouTube channel. So when you come to Danny and you click on podcasts, you can now see that we are publishing.
To my fans out there, to my fans,
all our music is getting published on our YouTube channel.
Bob, Mark coming,
which is fantastic. It's Christopher.
We should submit them to Spotify.
Well, we have. This is what we're doing. So when you go to podcast .dheck, right? So what we're literally working on right now, I've got the scripter working on it, is that you can see
notifier coming out next.
So these are the songs, and then you'll be able to find them on Spotify. So they will turn up here. So that means our music is going to absolutely just go crazy, which is really, really exciting. So you can now come along and find all our music on all the podcasts that we put our music out on.
It'd be funny if it becomes a popular song in jail.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They changed the logo.
They changed the logo.
They changed the website.
You are a big god knob.
But did they change the game?
Good job, Cody. Good job, Cody. Yeah.
Oh, you're really going to be rich one day. All right, mate, I'm going to go because I've got to go do something tonight, and I've got to spend another hour doing a video. So look at that.
It's over.
How much money do you think that we've exposed? Like, I'm going 1.9 for Hyperverse, at least $1 million. I reckon $1 billion for BG Wealth Sharing. We've got 400 million for Goliath Ventures, and then we've got like 350 million for things like Smart Lab. Like, I've put $3.4 billion worth of fraud exposed that we've done as the.
I'm gonna start on this letter. This is the example of what they're gonna get. Dear subscriber to IPTV, as a result of the result of the investigation.
Bob never listens to me when I
court orders. Guys, where you were a subscriber to an unauthorized illegal IPTV service.
I have got a service which I'll give you the login, and we can send out newsletters. So we can import all those people's names and then send them out newsletters. We could actually have the service I've got enables me to send out newsletters. So we could build a database where people get notified of scams. And every time we find a phone number and a name, we just put it into the database and keep hammering them until they realize they're getting scammed. That would be pretty cool.
Well, I'd like to show them the letter too. Like, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah. So last night I put together the
trackers.
Last night I put together a new blog about QVSE scam. I had hardly no information to go on, but before long, we've now got a song. We've got a really in-depth blog about how the scam is running.
Okay, I'm going back on the channel.
All right, buddy. See you, dude. Bye. All right, so that's Bob gone. Thank goodness for that. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that will be tomorrow's blog, but today's blog is actually about a really strange one, and it's about Recrutu. And I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right, and I don't know if I'm what I'm talking about when I say it. But if you come down to Recrutu, it's a scam, and I need to introduce it. And I think I did introduce it. I'll just see if I've got the introduction handy so that I can start doing that. So that was our shenanigans for this morning. Hopefully you enjoyed the stuff about my morning, my afternoon. Hopefully you enjoyed the stuff about Goliath Ventures. But now we're going to actually look at Recrutu. And I think I put together an introduction. Yep, and there it is there. Small introduction, which I'm going to listen to before I read
Welcome everyone. Today I'm taking a closer look at Recrutu and Nursultan Nurik Adi Adilkhanov, a business that initially caught my attention because of complaints from people who say Recrutu-related appointments and webinars appeared in their calendars without permission. But once I started digging, this became much bigger than calendar spam. I found multiple websites, changing recruitment claims, virtual assistants marketed for as little as a few dollars an hour, Smart Worker, Bridges Agency, Vibe Funnels, a $27 tripwire leading towards a $397 service, and some interesting contradictions buried in the marketing. Now, I'm not here to declare Recrutu a scam. I've contacted them and given them a right of reply. What I'm going to do today is show you what I found. Follow the evidence, ask the questions I believe consumers deserve answers to, and then you can decide for yourself whether Recrutu is a business you would trust.
Yeah, so ironically, just trying to catch up with my emails, and I've done that. So I'm actually going to start this now, and I'm going to cut this off into a new video, and I'll upload it so you can watch it. I try to post 2 videos a day, one live recording and one shortened one, which is basically a summary or me reading the blog. I might not read the entire blog, but I do think it's important that we understand the different types of scams that are out there. And also, why I want to do this blog is because this individual is actually making a whole lot of claims, and it's like he's running a riot on the internet. And it's also sales funnels. So people are signing up for stuff, and then they're told they need to sign up for more stuff. And it's like the never-ending investment. You might sign up because you want to hire somebody to help you do something and pay them, he said, $5 an hour. But once you get in the system, you have to upgrade. And before you know it, you've paid out $400. And have you really got what he says? And it's more, this blog is more about outrageous, I don't even know how to put it, outrageous claims and inconsistencies. And then these people don't correspond with you. So it's kind of like anarchy on the internet. So let me get into my introduction and let's get this one under. I'm going to try to read it in the same speed I did yesterday. Welcome, everybody. Today I'm taking a closer look at Recrutu and a person's name that I'll never be able to pronounce.
Nursultan Nurik Adi Adilkhanov.
Nursultan Nurik Adi Adilkhanov. I don't know. We just might call him, what's abbreviation?
Nurik.
A business that initially caught my attention because of complaints from people saying Recrutu-related appointments and webinars appeared in their calendars. So, you know, you've got Google Calendar, Apple Calendar. Well, appointments were just turning up in people's inbox. Now, that must be something going a bit strange. I don't know how that would work, but maybe you clicked on an image to get something and all of a sudden it added a calendar appointment into your book. Don't know how he was doing it, but that's what people have been complaining about. So it was worth an investigation. But once I started digging, this became much bigger than calendar spam. I found multiple websites changing recruitment claims, virtual assistants marketed for as little as a few dollars an hour. Smart Workers, Bridge Agencies, Vibe Funnels, and 27 tripwire leaning towards a $398 service. And some interesting contracts blurred in the marketing. All right, so now I'm not here to declare that Recrutu is a scam. I've conducted them and given them the right of reply. What I'm going to do is show you what I've found, follow the evidence, and ask the questions I believe consumers deserve answers to. And then you can decide for yourself whether Recrutu is a business that you would trust. Now, a lot of the time is these companies that we look at are all here to build trust. And the format, the template, the structure, the sayings, the urgencies that they put on people all make people to hurry up and make investments. So we're here to expose it. My team of Avengers are amazing, and we are growing and getting stronger every day. But these individuals seems to be flying under the radar. No one seems to be stopping them. This guy, I believe, is 23-something years of age. And if this is the future and how we're meant to do business, then the world needs to be shaken a little bit. We even took the liberty of making an awesome song.
Congratulations! Are you a freelancer looking for work? Are you a business looking for talent?
Well, there you go. So I put the song together and the rest is history. So let's get into this. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, you can see his photo popping up on the screen about now. Imagine opening your business calendar and discovering appointments you never remember booking. You delete it and it appears, another appears. You try to unsubscribe and more invitations arrive. So that's what we've had people complaining about. And that was one of the allegations I keep finding when I started investigating a virtual assistant company called Recrutu. So when you click on Recrutu, would you believe that their website isn't going today? Yesterday, I do wonder if I have an impact, but maybe if I take the dub out of it, it may redirect. And it does redirect. So that is absolutely batshit crazy. So the only way to fix that in real time. Now, the reason why they do that is a lot of configurations don't like the dub behind the domain name, and they can't get it to redirect. So you would ask a simple logical questions. Why would a company need to go back to where we are, need to redirect their domain name to another domain name? It doesn't make sense. But anyway, who am I to ask those questions? So let's go back to Recrutu. Let's see if we can hit refresh, and then hopefully we'll have a real-time update. But you'll probably be finding that frustrated. So anyway, we had a look at the website and we'll do that again. So when you click on Recrutu, you get a portal here. First one, it says, I am a VA freelancer looking for remote work. So he's going for the people that are looking for the work. And then you've got the other side of it. I am a business owner ready to scale. So when you click on Take Me Here, it's going to promise you that 163 overseas freelancers, one US client for remote, 163 overseas freelancers, one US client for remote project work using a 4-line DM, not 4,000 job applications. I have no idea what that means, but anyway, we did try to investigate about it. But you can come through that side of it. You can listen to a couple of people. This photo here looks very much like the guy that we're talking about, but let's have a listen.
Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say huge thanks to the team of Recrutu.
And straight away,
sales managers, starting from sales managers and ending with HR managers.
Straight away, we got given instant access to an opportunity where I could pay $7 and get something that's worth $97 free of charge. So this is just, a recruitment side of it. But then everything is included. You're going to get this. It's a normal sales funnel. Before you get to the end, I'm pretty sure you won't be paying $7. But if you really want to, you've got to hurry up, get yourself in there. And once again, I'll listen to this guy's
Hi, everyone.
email.
Just wanted to say huge thanks to the team of Recrutu. To the sales managers, starting from sales managers and ending with HR managers as well.
That's great. And then you click here. She speaks in a different language. But if you know the story, he used to be someone who used to do freelance work, and then he decided to start up his own company, and that's his rags to riches stories. But if you want to, you can also go to the I'm a business owner, and I want to hire a virtual assistant. So you show me how. And you're in here, and there's your virtual assistant. Next hire is already trained. The AI talent, top 1% only, dedicated VH coach, free placement, 5-day deployment. Stop wasting the time on bad hires. From cool to fully deployed. And if you put all this into from $8 to $15, I want one. I might have to hire one of these myself. And look, they've even got testimonials, which you can't find anywhere else on the internet, other than their own marketing material, giving them 5-star reviews. I might start putting a few 5-star reviews on my website and just say everyone's talking about me. That is batshit crazy. And if you do want to give me a review, did you know that you can actually do that? If you go to my website, you can actually go to my contact page. Oops, that's not going to work. Oops, that's still not going to work. That is. And you can actually go down to write a review, and I'll give you the link. And that link enables you to give me a review. I've had a few lately. I get smear campaigns, people writing lovely reviews as well, so that's quite funny. But anyway, at the moment, it's pretty well policed, and we're getting some good reviews coming back in again. So thank you to everyone that does write those reviews. Alrighty, so now what you've got, so I've just shown you a little bit. So here's the man, the genius behind it all. At first, I wasn't expecting much of a story. Recrutu, if I'm saying that right, presents itself as a staff and recruitment business helping primarily US businesses owners hire affordable overseas virtual assistants. Its founder, I'm not going to read his name again, I've already forgotten the short version, but let's go for the marathon.
Nursultan Nurik Adi Adilkhanov.
Promotes a simple position: stop drowning in administration, hire talented remote workers for a fraction of the cost of local staff, or poor local staff. Use AI and automation to increase productivity and get your time back. Nothing particularly unusual about that. All right, so now, but a source had sent me a few details of a Recruiter webinar called How to Scale Your Business with AI and Virtual Assistants 2025. The invitation promised AI training virtual assistants for under $12 an hour and was packed with urgency. There were supposedly only a handful of spots remaining. No shit, Sherlock. Business owners were warned that competitors were already struggling, surging ahead. While this was described as a rare opportunity, will not come around again. Well, it did quite a few times. So I started looking at the company behind it. Originally, recruiter.com now redirects to recruiter-agency.com. I found other domain names being used for marketing and communications, different company addresses in the United States, and a significant operation connection in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. Brilliant. He really has gone global. Then some of the marketing claims began changing depending on where I looked. So it wasn't consistency. Recruiter has described its workers as the top 5%, the top 2%, the top 1%. Archived Marketing advertised 1,500 plus workers worldwide, 12-hour candidate shortlist and workers already to start within 24 hours. Sounds pretty good if you want a virtual assistant. Other material advertised virtual assistants at prices ranging from $5 an hour to $15 an hour. You could hire your company CEO at $15 an hour by the sounds of it. While more recent claims concluded 500 plus placement and 99% retention. That means it's like Hotel California. You check in and you never leave. Those inconsistencies were both worth documenting, but they weren't what initially turned this into a story, because I was struggling at the start, but don't worry, I've got myself a good story now. The calendar complaints were, I found people publicly alleging that Recrutu related webinar appointments and meeting invitations had appeared in their calendars without permission. Now, that's going to be a pretty hard one to actually do. You must be a wee bit clumsy and clicking on things you don't know about. Watch that. Then I found older complaints describing remarkably similar behavior. Trial went back to 2024. Similar allegations appear in 2025. Then they are still appearing in, you guessed it, 2026. Then I found Better Business Bureau Scam Tracker Report. I'm starting to like that site more and more. There's tons of people that have put comments in that Better Business Bureau. Anyway, in which another person described what's it? Substantially the same alleged problem. That got my attention because while people were complaining about unwanted calendar invitations, Recruiter was publicly teaching businesses how to create real urgency that makes people take action, explaining that scarcity and deadlines work because they force decisions. So if you put pressure on people, they're too scared. And it's like you're clicking on things, trying to get rid of those calendar appointments. And then you go, I'm going to do it because I'm so sick of them harassing me. Okay. Suddenly the webinar telling people that spaces were appearing at the opportunity that would never be repeated. Look, considerably more interesting. Now, I do actually have, fortunately enough, I think I did actually find the link to that Zoom meeting, which I think it would be worthwhile seeing if I could bring that up global, I think it was down here, workshop LinkedIn. Yeah, this is it. Just in case they decide to go live, we will be ready to go. There I am there on the screen. Turn my camera off and off we go. Yeah, so this was LinkedIn workshop, how to scale your business 10 times faster with $5 per hour operation system. Oh, this sounds too good to be true. We'll leave that one open just in case they boot up the once in a lifetime meeting again. But as I continued following Recruiter's current website, the investigation expanded again. What appeared at first to be straightforward virtual assistant recruitment company led me to a interconnected ecosystem selling products and services to both sides of the virtual assistant marketplace. So he's looking for people to work, and he's also looking for businesses that need workers. I found Smart Worker selling overseas freelancers a system for approaching US business owners directly. Maybe they're the ones that were putting the calendar appointments in there. Don't know. I found Bridge Agency selling business owners systems for recruiting recruiting and managing inexpensive overseas workers. I found Vibe Funnels selling AI-assisted sales funnels products. I also found low-cost digital offers leading towards more expensive recruitment services. It's just a rabbit warren. I spent ages in there, probably about an hour. Behind those different brands and products, legal documents repeatedly brought me back to the same name. Recruiter Virtual Assistant LLC. I don't know why people keep setting up new companies. Well, companies. I don't know. They have no premises. They have nothing. They just have a company. Maybe it just gives you peace of mind. That fundamentally changed the investigation. This was no longer simply about whether Recruiter could supply someone with a virtual assistant. It was about how the wider ecosystem worked, how different brands were connected, and how its increasingly specific performance claims were substantiated, how workers and business owners were monetized from opposite sides of the marketplace. And now the people were being told, being brought into this marketing funnels, and how people were being brought into this marketing funnel in the first place. Whew, that was a mouthful. I want to be clear about something from the beginning. I have not found evidence that allows me to declare Recrutu a scam. Okay, that's what ChatGPT told me to say, and I am saying it. I found what appears to be a functioning virtual assistant business, and there are customers who publicly say they have successfully used their services. Unlike all the other scams, we never find anyone saying that everything's dandy, do we? Or yes, we do. Sometimes we're on the payroll. But hey, not in this case. We're not sure. So we can't make unsubstantiated claims. That's what we're all about. What is these days? What I found instead was a different kind of story. Are you prepared to listen to a story? It's a story about aggressive marketing, automation, shifting claims, cheap overseas labor, multiple business entities, interconnectable sales funnels, and repeated allegations from people who say Recruiter appears inside their calendars when they never invited them there. And that left me with a much bigger question, and that one than the one I started with. What exactly is going on behind Recruiter's marketing machine? And what has this virtual assistant company actually become? Who is Recruiter, and who is this Nurik? Nurik, am I got it right?
Nurik.
Nurik, never going to get that right. Nurik. Behind Recruiter is this guy's funny name.
Behind Recrutu is Nursultan.
Nursultan.
Adilkhanov.
Yeah, Adilkhanov. Sounds Russian to me, but could be wrong. Better known as online as, we're going to not say his name anymore. We're going to give him a name. Let's just call him Recruiter. No, let's just call him the boss. We'll call him the boss. His LinkedIn profile describes him as the only virtual assistant headhunter you need, and places him in Atlanta, Georgia. So that was pretty cool. So if you do go and find him, you can actually go to LinkedIn. I don't even think I linked it through to LinkedIn because I was trying to link him to the story I put out there and it wouldn't let me tag him. And when people make it like you can't tag them, normally it tells me that they don't want people to tag them and bring them into bad light. Now, I think I have about 1,500 followers because I'm Danny the Heck, but he's got 3,080 followers. Now, I have sent him a request to connect, and he hasn't done so, which is very sad. I went through the Recrutu stuff, and I gathered a lot of information. I went through here and I read all his testimonials and how wonderful his company is. So he's gone and got these testimonials, and he's put them all over his own marketing, and they just say he's brilliant. Haven't heard that before. Anyway, so the business position itself is pretty straightforward. Proposition itself is pretty straightforward. Recruiter connects primarily US-based owners with low-cost remote workers who can perform jobs including administration, cold calling, yippee-yay, appointment setting, customer service, graphic design, and programs. Now, somebody's ringing me right now from America. Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Hi, is this, sorry, I got your number from the website.
Okay, what's it regarding? Can I help? May be a victim. Anyway, I'll just say I'm busy at the moment, but give me a ring later on. That would be nice. I don't always answer live, but when it's from the States and I've just been doing a whole lot of phone calls from people, sometimes I'm never really sure. Schedule, chat, settings. So maybe unknown. Oh, there we go. We'll just bring them up. If it is private, I will ask them to ring me back. Here you go. We're back again. You there?
Hello, sorry, I misended the call.
That's all right.
Is this Dylan?
Devlin, are you meaning?
Huh?
Is this with Global? Are you talking about Global Glamping?
I hardly can hear you.
Oh,
What's
right.
your name?
My name is Danny, not Devlin.
Oh, Danny.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I was just testing. I'm sorry. Based on my experience, I have trust issues. So I guess you know why I'm calling. I just wanted to know, like, I'm recording the call. This call will be recorded so I can have it for my friend to hear.
Okay. Well, maybe I could. I'm actually I'm a little bit busy at the moment, but if I can give you, I've got your phone number. Are you on WhatsApp?
Yes, WhatsApp.
Right.
Should I call you on WhatsApp?
No, I'm actually busy. I'm live on the internet at the moment. I didn't know who was calling, so rather than blurting your conversation all over the internet, don't say your name. I've just sent you a hello message on WhatsApp. How about you correspond on there, and then I can talk to you after I finished. Does that sound all right?
You said I should call you on WhatsApp now?
No. I'm busy on the internet. What's it regarding?
Oh, it's about these people that scammed me, and I'm trying to get my money back.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And I found out so much information from your page about, I don't know how you got their name, Mohammed Abdazil. They have so many fake websites. Logo Sharks is one. I was just trying to find out how you know their names, because I only had numbers for them, and I couldn't find a name nor anything.
Oh, right. So who were you?
The information you provided.
Oh, that's cool. So who were you looking for originally?
For them.
Who were you actually looking? Who were you actually looking for? Originally, what company?
They had Logo Sharks, and they had Hawks Technology. They called me today with Hawks Technology. They scammed me since last year, and they've been still like, I managed to get back some of my money, but they still have like 7,000 and some for me.
Right.
And they keep bothering me, calling my phone on different numbers, adding me to fake groups and stuff. They've been harassing me a lot.
Right.
So now I'm thinking I was gonna let it off the hook, but I'm thinking to like deal with it further.
Oh, we'd love to help you.
I was just wondering to be sure, because I have all the names that you listed. I was wondering how you got those names.
Oh, we would have got them. We would have got them out of a Zoom meeting. What was the name of the company? I'm still trying to follow the one you're talking about. What was the name of the company that scammed you?
Okay, so they go under Hawks Technologies, and one was Logo Sharks, and I saw other names as well. I had some screens.
Can you I'm trying to look. Is it a book publishing company?
Yes, but they didn't do any book publishing for me. They did. They made a fake website, and they tried to get access to the computer I had. They asked me for the IP address. I didn't even know what they were doing.
Right.
And gained access to the computer I was in, and they did a fake website where if I had went along with it, they would have made sales and still be robbing money from it.
Yeah.
And they made a trademark to earn my trust. First, it was for logo design. Yes, those logo sharks.
Yep.
Them. And then they did a trademark and they kept upselling and charging for different things.
Yeah, definitely want to talk to you.
Finally, when they would have charged for everything, they made a fake website with a lawyer saying that he's suing me. So I can then turn to them and ask them for legal assistance.
Yeah.
But I then realized that it was a scam, and that's how I was able to report to the bank.
Yeah.
And I could retrieve some of the money.
Oh, good on
The
you.
rest, when they realized, I wasn't able to get it back.
Right. Yeah, no, we investigate Pakistani software houses, and I could give you 1,000 website addresses of people that, all these fake websites that they set up. And people, I get, you're the second person this week that has lost money to investing that ring me up for help. But I'd love to know your story. I'd love to see the contracts that you've got. So can you see my name I sent to you in WhatsApp? So I'm just busy at the moment, and I'm but if you want to
I have some information, but it's like WhatsApp chats and stuff. I didn't have any contracts with them draft.
right.
They did like email chains and stuff. They didn't really talk via text. They always wanted to call. I just was able to take a lot of screenshots and research online after I saw people giving reviews. But they used fake names like Michael and Daniel and Christian.
Yeah.
They never used their real names.
And did you
the phone numbers that they used?
Yeah, they're just a dime a dozen, those phone numbers. But I mean, I'd love to see. I mean, did you ever use a service called 360projectmanager.com?
360 Project Manager, yes.
You did. I'd love to talk to you because that's a smoking gun. Because because that's what they use to.
You sound very muffled. I don't know. Maybe if I call you on.
Yeah, but you don't understand. I'm actually busy at the moment. I can't talk because I'm live on the internet. So I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah. So right. Normally people make an appointment to talk to me, and then I can help people. But what I'm saying is I'm busy at the moment. But I've sent you some messages on WhatsApp, so you should see me.
Okay.
And then I'll give you a ring back after.
Okay.
How's that on WhatsApp? But just text me on WhatsApp so I know I've got you. I've got your phone number there, I think.
Okay.
You'll see it, and then we'll have a chat later, and we'll have a better connection.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Yeah, it's so frustrating because I get phone calls from people. I could spend an hour talking to that lady. She's already lost money, and then all of a sudden I'm the one that seems to, have to spend all the time trying to convince her that there's no way in hell that she's going to get her money back. And then when you see, often when I'm talking to these people, I don't normally answer the phone calls live. But if you looked at all these websites here, every single one of these websites can be found in Google's search engine. Some of them would be broken now. So there's one that's broken. Here's one that's active. So if you didn't know any better, you would land on this website and think, oh, here's a company that for a very reasonable rate, which they'll have their rates on here because they all do, they can help me start publishing my book. So there'll be a tag in here talking about services. Here it is, book editing, publishing. And these are all run out of Pakistan. These might even be registered in Texas, Houston. They're registered to people that actually have residency in America. And I'm going to do something major about this. But if you go through all this, you'll find somewhere where they will encourage you to get involved in some small form, and then you'll be stuck. So that's just one of many. Ghostwriting, free quotes. Okay, so here's one here. And all these here, if you search for this company in Google, you will find, you will literally find this coming up in paid advertising. And so I'm just going to prove that to you by searching for their name, and you will find you'll find paid advertising, and these come in. Now, we've confronted Google in the past, and they were a bit embarrassed. And all of a sudden, we found a lot of our content being stripped out of the search engines while other people did that we were dealing with. It's complicated, but it's just ridiculous. So how do you know what company to hire for book publishing? So then I'm speaking to the victims of this company, and they're telling me that they've had their wages garnished or put on hold if they don't reach the sales quota. And I'm going, hold on a minute. You know this company is bad. You're working for them. And now you want my help to get them to pay your wages. How about you give me the customers database that you've been selling these books that never get over the finish line? They keep moving and then, and that's what they do, but they don't. They just go, oh, well, I'm a victim. And I go, well, you're not a victim because you've been recruiting people to be scammed. And they go, oh, but they're in some cases, which are extreme, and some of these do actually have real books in the bookstore. So that convinces people. And because you see them in the bookstore, you think they're real. Even a few times, they've actually managed to have bestsellers. But the majority of the times, they're hiring 12-year-olds to ghostwrite books, providing some form of service, which then becomes a civil matter in the courts. And it just goes on and on and on. But all these websites that you've seen are all pretty much the same. And it's just absolutely batshit crazy. This one here is called Danway Books Publishing LLC, Yeah, so that's, I get phone calls quite a lot like that, and often I don't take them live while I'm on the internet, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea. So this is actually relevant to this recruitment, the scam, because this guy's offering recruitment basically at slave labor prices. And he could be getting people from Pakistan to do the recruitment work. There could be a cartel-style network behind this guy. I don't know. And that's why these interest me when I start investigating. But at the end of the day, I need to sleep, and I can't be all things to all people. But when people make unsubstantiated claims on their website, this just shows you that anything that you read online is just a waste of time, believing it's true and genuine. So anyway, in his, what we just showed you in his LinkedIn profile, he's basically the only virtual assistant headhunter you need. The business proposal was pretty straightforward. Recruiter connects prominent US business owners to low-cost and remote employees. They help you do graphic designs and all those wonderful things like book publishing. His own story he used to demonstrate that he believes this model can achieve. Recruiter says he began working as a virtual assistant himself for about $1 an hour, improved his English skills, and eventually earned $100,000 a year. And I can never get his name right.
Nurik.
Nurik has also publicly claimed, I built a 6-figure agency with a fully remote team of 15 overseas workers. So at a 6-figure agency with a fully remote team of 15 overseas workers. So he didn't even have a real company. And that may be something good he did. And then he tried to expand it. According to his account, building that remote team allowed him to escape the daily workload, that's what we all want, isn't it, of running his business and concentrating instead on growth. It's a story, and the underlying business model itself is isn't particularly controversial. Businesses have outsourced work internationally for decades, so it's nothing new that he's doing, and technically speaking, there's really nothing wrong about what he's offering and who he's asking to work for him, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just giving you the facts and showing you the claims, and you can make your own decision. What interested me was where Recruiter was finding these workers. Nurik has openly promoted Central Asia as an overseas source of talent. He has described developing a Central Asia framework. Now, all those human trafficking compounds are in Central Asia as well, aren't they? So no doubt he's going to places like Cambodia. Is that what we're talking about? Myanmar? Border of Myanmar and Thailand? I don't know. Wonder if that's for finding and retaining workers from the region. While Recruiter has discussed recruitment from countries including Kazakhstan, the company has even promoted English training designed to help its virtual assistants speak with less distinguishable accents and sound more American. Now, I've had a prank phone call already today from somebody who was asking me to review my health. And obviously they want my social security number, and then they'll use that to claim back the Medicare stuff. And that's what they're doing when they ring you and they're asking for a survey for you to do your health. So I call them some horrible names. Even before I got to call this guy a horrible name this morning, he hung up on me. It wasn't fair. That tells me a lot about what Recruiter is actually selling. Find skilled people in countries where wages are considerably lower, train them to communicate effectively with American businesses, add AI tools and automation, then offer US companies a remote workforce at a fraction of what comparable domestic staff might cost. That is Recruiter's proposition. And if that was all I found, we'd probably not have been much reason for me to write this investigation. But once I started comparing how Recruiter describes the low quality and cost of these workers, the marketing became consistently more interesting. So claims that started moving. So the Wayback Machine gave me something I didn't have in the first when I first started comparing Recruiter's marketing, a much clearer picture of what the company was proposing before the current website disappeared. The original Recruiter.com website was archived over 101 times between November 2023 and March 2026. So this wasn't actually what I really need to do is probably go to archive.org, and I probably need to add a link to this here. So here we've got the website, and this is what it's saying. It's, so now we're going to actually come here. We're going to go to there. Can I actually do that? Edit. The Wayback Machine gave me something I didn't have in the first place. Comparing Recruiters. Much go picture. Recruiters website archived 100 times. All right. So I'm going to actually make archive. Actually, I'm going to highlight that whole lot. So now I'm going to find 101. There it is, 100 times. I'm going to make that whole bit there. Make it easier for my viewers. And before you know it, update. And now we can actually go back and update that. So what we're going to come up with, we're going to have a link here where you can click on it and go, what's the Wayback Machine? And Danny says, well, I provide the answer to that for you. So this wasn't a short-lived landing page that appeared a few weeks. In fact, it was part of Recruiter's public-facing business for years, and the promises were ambitious. The archive site advertised top 1% talent under $12 per hour. Potential customers were told they could pre-vet virtual assistants for almost any business task within 24 hours. That's just fantastic. That's better than humans. Recruiter also claimed access to 15,000 workers worldwide. According to the website, candidates had perfect English, no heavy accent, could be ready to start within 24 hours, required no lock-in contracts. You can just tell them to F off whenever you finish with them. A customer could only pay an hourly rate so that you can hire somebody for 10 minutes. Well, maybe an hour. That gave me something much more concrete to compare with Recruiter's later marketing. Archive sites said the Recruiter's team would typically go through 40 to 50 candidates to select the best 5, with the shortest subsequently requiring ready within the first 12 hours. Customers could then interview 3 or 4 candidates and choose the person they preferred. It's called doing a search on Google, in my opinion. Recruiter also advertised a 100% money-back guarantee. It just gets better and better, saying that if the service failed to satisfy a customer, the upfront cost would be refunded. No questions asked. Good luck with that. If proposed free placements if a worker didn't work out, and repeatedly emphasized that there were no contracts or commitment required. So it just sounds like you're actually just wasting a whole lot of people's times. It does sound like Cambodians, doesn't it, Nev? It's amazing. Anyway, I wonder if they can get people to look after prisoners for $12 an hour. Who knows? There are no vague branding statements. Those are not vague branding statements. They are specific operational promises. They were the quality. Then there were the quality claims. Recruiter's LinkedIn headline as promoted the company as sourcing the top 1% virtual workers in the US for business owners. Elsewhere, it described its talent as the top 5 of global virtual talent. Another promotional graph quoted, I can't say his name, but let's try it again. Nurik, saying we hire top 2% and help them become the top 1%. It just gets better and better. So I still left with some basic questions. Top 5, top 2, top 1, what is it? Let's get the facts straight. The archive website makes the questions more significant because Recruiter wasn't simply using top 1% as a passing social media slogan. It was a central part of the company's sales proposition. Alongside claims of 1,500 plus available workers, 12-hour shortlist and 24-hour starts. Just the perfect. I just don't need to worry about employment for the rest of my life. I couldn't find a published methodology explaining how many of these percent rankings. We couldn't figure out how they were coming up with these claims or how they verified this stuff to be factual and true. The pricing also shifted over time. I found older recruiter advertising workers for as little as $5 an hour, material explaining how to hire a $7 an hour virtual assistant, the archive's website repeatedly offering talent for under $12 an hour, and later material reaching approximately $15 an hour. Okay, so maybe they've had a pay increase, who knows? Prices change. That does not concern me, but what interested me was how consistently Recruiter used speed, quality, and low cost together. Now, I don't know if you've ever done it, but there's a triangle, and it's the quality triangle. And if you want fast, cheap, and quality, those three things don't normally go together. You have to sacrifice one. I mean, let's just say Temu, okay? The message was essentially thousands of available workers, elite candidates, excellent English, almost immediate recruitment, and sustainably, what's that word? I better get that right.
Substantially
cheaper labor. The most recent Recruiter marketing ads, their impressive figures, including 500 plus placements and 99% client retention. That's incredible. That means 1% of their client, their burn, what do they call that? I always look, I remember I had a business networking company and I used to work out the drop-off rate. And mine was like 2.5 months would be the lifespan of a customer. And retention rate is amazing. But not here. 99% of their client retention stay. That's impressive. Maybe he doesn't have any clients. Maybe he's his only client. I don't know how you'd come up with that calculation. Maybe every one of those figures can be substantiated. Doubt it very much. But when a company builds its sales pitch around those numbers, this specific numbers, what's that?
Specific.
That is right. Builds its sales pitch around numbers this specific. That's better. 1,500 plus workers, 1%, top 1%, 40 to 50 candidates screened, 5 finalists, 12-hour shortlist, 24-hour starts, and 99% retention. That's pretty out there, mate. Just saying. I believe potential customers are entitled to know how those numbers are calculated, and that's kind of what we're highlighting here. For me, these skills weren't proof Recruiter was doing anything fraudulent, but they were no longer just clever slogans. They were measurable claims, and that means they should be capable of being measured. And I'd love to know how they actually come up with those claims and compare who to who. Atlanta to Alaska and Kazakhstan. I did have that word.
Kazakhstan.
Recruiter's publicly facing identity is America. So that's where they say they are based. Its LinkedIn page has described the business as headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Founded in 2022. That means the guy would have been 18. I think he's like 23, not sure. With a primary address of whatever that way is there. So let's have a look. Now, let me guess. Who wants to put their hand up and think that this address is actually going to be a shared office space? Let's have a look. Let's Zillow. I'm trying to find everyone that's using it. Let's have a wee look. Okay, let's see what we brought up. It's a fountain. It's a house. Oh my goodness. Is that the right house? Atlanta. Okay, so this is the house where it all happens. I think this is he's working from home. Could be wrong. Sink, garden, toilet. Oh, well, that's not as bad as a shared office space. Nothing wrong with working from home. So suppose we need to look through his marketing claims, marketing material until we find him working from home. Anyway, that does look like a bed and breakfast, just saying. And let's have a look at this one here. It's 149,000. I believe that this might be flats. This looks like flats. So let's see what we've discovered and see how funny it is. And a US phone number. That in this version, that is the version of the company's most version. Is that right?
Version
of the company's most potential clients are likely to see first. Okay, so that's what people will see if they look up the company. But when I followed the legal and marketing trail, the picture became less straightforward. The current website identifies Recruiter Virtual Assistant LLC, while an address associated with the entry points to Anchorage, Alaska. At the same time, the webinar material sent to my source used the address, what's that word?
Pavlida.
Kazakhstan, whatever it is. 3 locations. So if you're going to get confused, check out this company's location and see where you think they are. The 3 different parts of the story. None of these proves anything improper. Remote businesses regularly use different corporate mailing and operational addresses. What matters is whether those relationships are explained clearly. In Recruiter's case, Kazakhstan is not some random coincidence. Nurik has openly promoted Central Asia as a majority source of talent for businesses, and Recruiter has discussed building recruitment and training infrastructure around workers in that region. Its public material has also referred, what's that word?
Kazakh talents, while another connected recruitment path points towards smart workers, and there is Kazakhstan. So let's just have a wee look at that while we're there. We'll leave that one open in case we have to go back. We're going to have a look at this address here. It's going to load in a second. There it is. And there we are, smart worker, and we've got it all in Kazakhstan language. And there he is here. This is the man that we're talking about. He's looking pretty cool. He likes to take photos of himself with his phone in lifts. That's just fantastic. But here you can read, if you're very good, you might even be able to do a bit of a, but anyway. So that's what we found, multiple domain names and lots of all over the place. Hard to track down exactly what he was doing. All right, I'm going to go look at Neville's comments. Sounds like a Cambodian scam compound. It does, doesn't it? You don't get top 1% under $12 an hour. Come on, where's your sense of adventure, Neville? They're just putting out their bug holes. Have I got that right? They get their stats from the Trust Me Bro Research Institute. That's a cool comment. Okay, so what have we got? Alaska is the legal home of the current. Is Alaska the legal home of the company? Is Atlanta primary the sales-facing headquarters? So what we're doing here, we're having a guesstimation on what we think they're doing, and we have no idea. Is Kazakhstan where much of the recruitment and workforce infrastructure actually it sits? We don't know. Remember, it's got 1,500 staff to entertain. Those may be perfectly legitimate answers, but potential clients should not have to reverse engineer them from old LinkedIn pages, webinar invitations, company footers, and scattered domains. And that is where the investigation moves next, because once I started following the domains, I found Recruiter marketing footprint was just as fragmented as the geographical one. So let's get this right. So following Recruiter's marketing trail, once I started tracing Recruiter's online footprint, it became obvious that I wasn't dealing with one simple website and one recruitment service. Okay, so remember we said that recruiter.com now redirects to recruiter agencies. The webinar invitations sent to my source came from recruiterweb.com, while the unstable instructions pointed towards recruiter.com. Is that right? Instructions. So the unsubscribed instructions pointed to recruiter.com. So I got an email from this, and to unsubscribe from this, I needed to go to that website, which was redirecting to this.
That's 3 website addresses in one email. Recruiter related contact information has also appeared through this. So we've now got additional information again. So let's go to this website. I think this one was down. Yeah, so we've got a domain name error, even though this one here was also involved. So getting confused, just explain it to you. And then I've been a user of Calendly for years. All right. Now, if you go to Calendly and you type in the heck at the end of the URL, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find my Express chat. And if you really want to, you can hit the back button and you can see all the other services that I have. Now, if you do want to talk to me, you can book an Express chat, book a support session. If you want to, people often want to come onto my podcast, even though I don't do that. So I tell them they can book an interview and it costs them like $250. Sponsor a review. So that's what happens when you go to my Calendly. Now, if I do something wrong on Calendly, I lose my Calendly. So when I saw this, I know what's happened, even though I can't prove it. For a long time, Recruiter LinkedIn presence redirected people to, and then you've got Calendly, and you've got his name in there.
Nurik Adi.
Nurik Adi, 30-minute appointment. The address no longer works. And then later, LinkedIn, he reposted it, and he's put an additional I in the end of it, which means he's lost his LinkedIn account for whatever reason. And he's gone back there and added another I, but hasn't updated all the links. And now both of them don't exist anymore. But let's just say we want to give them the benefit of the doubt. We've got to go here. And what have we got? Not a valid URL. That means he's pissed off somebody. So he has to find another booking agency. And I'm just for shits and giggles, we're going to go for 3 I's. Page not found. So you can see what happens there. Not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. It's dandy to heck science. None of this proves wrongdoing. Of course not, but you can read between the lines. Online businesses change domains, marketing systems, and booking platforms all the time. I've had toheck.com. Now, look, while we're here, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go to archive.org. All right, and you want to check out this guy, Danny DeHeck, because he's just been on the internet too long, and you've read smear campaigns about him. And you go here and you look, his domain name goes back to 2021. So you click on 2021 and you can go back to 2021, February, and you can click on whatever's about to happen here. I hope it's not something bad. That could be pretty bad. Let's see if we can get it going. So my website has been indexed 494 times. And there it is, my very first website. It's not my first one. The first one was green. And here's a website with New Zealand's Information Network. And you can see down the bottom here, development, hosting, and promotion by New Zealand's Information Network. Join the network and become New Zealand's information provider. Feel free to add your site online to our public directory, New Zealand Search. And I used to own New Zealand Search as well, which is another domain name. But you get the idea. You can go through there and you can go through my history and you can find out, but you don't see, well, here's the bad example straight away. So here was my website. We had a search engine and it was called New Zealand Search, 413 captures. And we did use newzealandsearch.co.nz for a long time. But at the end of it, we consolidated and we brought them all back into one website. And that's my story. So go and check out that and have a bit of a laugh. But anyway, so the current website, much more significant happened. So what happens, instead of simplifying finding another virtual assistant recruitment page, I discovered that Recruiter was actively redirecting visitors to a different business, products, sales, funnels, depending on who they said they were and what they wanted. So I can understand that. That discovery substantially widened this investigation. So Recruiter became a sales funnel in its own. When I first started following Recruiter's online footprint, I thought I was investigating a virtual assistant recruitment company. Then I followed the links on his current website. Visitors are now separated according to what they want, which isn't abnormal. Freelancers looking for remote work are directed towards smart worker, while business owners are offered roles in hiring virtual assistants or growing sales through Bridge Agency. That opened up an entirely different side of Recruiter. So now, selling both sides. Smart workers sell overseas freelancers for $7 US clients toolkit. I don't know exactly if that was the right terminology, but anyway, we're getting a bit tired and we're carrying on. Teaching them how to approach American business owners directly. So you can see what's happening here. He's recruiting people to work, and then he's teaching people how to sell recruitment to businesses. So it's kind of unusual. Anyway, its sales page explicitly connects the system back to Recruiter. I build a recruitment agency around the answer, and I named it Recrutu. Okay. It claims systems helped 163 overseas freelancers with US founders for paid contracts, while advertising claims of 30 to 40% reply rates from US holders. I mean, this has got everything going for it. So if you write to somebody and ask them if you want recruitment, is he claiming that he gets 30 to 40% reply rates? That's pretty good going. I don't think anything I've ever done in marketing has got 30 to 40% replies. Maybe it's unsubscribe. I didn't put you on my calendar. Get me out of here. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But follow the other side of the funnel, and Recruiter appears to be selling to businesses looking for those workers as well. He's just eating the cake from both sides. Bridges Agency promised a $5 VA operator. Wow, that's pretty cool. And a 27 digital product teaching business owner how to find it. Wonder if you can hire or recruit somebody to do your sales and marketing, and you can actually set up a recruitment company, and it just like self-drives itself. Screen, hire, manage inexpensive overseas workers themselves. And 99% retention rate. It just gets better and better. The marketing claims 160 plus placements, 5,000 plus pre-vetted candidates. Now this is the part that got me, a ghost rate below 5% and more than 80% retention after 12 months. Those are measurable claims. What I know from I want to know what evidence supports them. How do you back up those claims? Let's just make them out of tonic, because I started off my travel and tourism business years ago, right? And I used to call myself New Zealand's leading internet consultant. And people say, how come you can call yourself New Zealand's leading internet consultant? And that was simply because I didn't have any competition. I made up the name, and because I thought I was the only person, then I wasn't doing anything wrong. And that was one of my brain farts. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys. Quite funny now I look back. Anyway, from $27 to $397. So you come along, clicked on a button where you saw that you was going to get something for $27. When you get to the checkout, it's now grown to $397. The $27 product isn't essentially where the sale journey ends. The customers who don't want to recruit workers themselves can be offered a $397 concierge placement, where the company claims it will source, screen, online, and deliver trained AI operators within 7 days. What happened to the 24 hours? Anyway, just getting there. What caught my attention wasn't how openly the sales page describes the agency. Some of you will want the 397 concierge placement offer after this. Those pay for the 27. Oh my God, I can't even read it. It's too complicated. And I am getting
tired.
Some
of you will want the $397 concierge placement after this. Those pay for the $27 tripwire.
Right. Okay, so the tripwire, and the funny thing is, the funny thing about the tripwire name, I didn't put it there, they did. Their word, not mine. Tripwire also found a apparent contradiction in what customers receive for their $27. Let's have a listen.
Apparent contradiction.
I was right. The offers advertisers. Lifetime, I'm going to actually just read this because I'm getting a bit tired. So here we go. We'll carry on. We'll do this. Been going for 3 hours so far. Let's do it again.
Lifetime delegators community access. It even says, lifetime access, not a 30-day trial. Yet elsewhere the same page describes community access as 30-day free, then $47 per year if you want to continue.
So which is it? Lifetime access or a recruiting annual payment after 30 days? It doesn't make sense. And it was actually literally like a 10-year-old had put together all the advertising here. And then, you get he's doing successful videos and the like. It just gets crazy. But what I'm showing you this for is just make shit up. It doesn't matter. No one's going to stop you. If you're going to use the services of any company, you want to make sure that you do a bit of research or hire the Avengers to do a bit of red flag searching. One company, multiple funnels. Then there is Vibe Funnels, another product reached through Bridge Agency, selling digital tools and training for building AI-assisted sales funnel. It just gets better. When I examine his terms of service, some pages had them, some pages didn't, but when I did find one that did have it, terms of service and the privacy policy, the legal entity name behind it was the same one we had earlier on. And we're going to the same address that we looked up, which looked like the apartment that you could buy for $149,000. That connection matters. Recrutu appears to have developed an ecosystem where freelancers can be sold a system to find American talent. Businesses can be sold a system for finding cheap overseas workers, and customers can then encounter digital products and higher price recruitment services around that marketplace. Poof. He's basically the one-stop shop. Maybe he's a one-man band. None of that is inherently improper, but it is considerably more complicated than simply being a virtual assistant recruitment company. And it leaves me with one question I have now put directly to Recrutu. So we gave them a writer reply, and we've got crickets so far, but if we do get one, we'll definitely publish it. How much of the business actually comes from placing virtual assistants? And how much comes from selling products and services built around the people trying to hire them or be one? So it's kind of like always follow the money. And I can guarantee that one part of this business will bring in the 80-20 rule will come into effect. So what is it? Why do we have to play this guessing game? This will never be repeated. This is what I said, right? The webinar invitation that originally reached my source was a 20-minute session called How to Scale Business with AI and Virtual Assistants in 2025. It was scheduled on Friday, May 2025, and promoted by, let's get his name again, Nurik as the founder of Recrutu and the mastermind behind hundreds of thriving businesses. Wow. I'd love to hear from these businesses who use their services. But what interests me most was the pressure built into the invitation. Potential attendees were told that there were only a handful of spots remaining, and this was their rare shot, and learnt to learn the strategy. They were warned that other business owners had already getting ahead, that costs would rise, and they needed to secure the advantage before it disappeared. That then came the strongest claim. Spots are vanishing quickly. This is not going to be repeated. So remember, we're sitting here, not looking at that one. We're sitting here waiting for them to start, and I'm dying to get onto one of their meetings and see exactly what we're going to learn. That sounds pretty definitive, except when I investigated Recrutu's wider event history, I found the company repeatedly showing webinars, workshops, and virtual assistant events as part of its marketing. So it's this continuous roller coaster going around and around and around saying the same old things. That doesn't prove this exact May 2025 presentation was repeated word for word, but it certainly puts the what's that word? Well, I love that word. Supposedly once only urgent into context. It's like I went to a Meatloaf concert, and it was meant to be the last Meatloaf. I actually used him just the other day. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, Meatloaf. Maybe you young people don't know who Meatloaf is, but hopefully you do. But if you come here and you go to my website, you'll go to my shorts, and when we did this recruitment, guess what one I used?
Tumble out of bed. Tumble out of bed and
Okay, so we use meatloaf. Now, why did I do that? Well, he was going like a bat out of hell, and I thought it was quite fitting. But anyway, I went to a meatloaf concert, and I was told it was going to be the last concert he ever played. Anyway, 20 concerts later, he still played. Everyone was complaining that he kept stopping halfway through the song, and it was all big sing-along. And I said I would have gone there just to shake the guy's hand because he's a freaking legend. I love meatloaf. More importantly, Recruiter has effectively explained the psychology behind the types of marketing itself. Oh, there we go. So they've even explained the psychology behind this type of marketing itself. Didn't need Danny to do it. In its own productional content, the company advertises businesses to create real urgency that makes people take action, and explained that scarcity and deadlines work because they force decisions. Isn't that crazy? And there it was. The company wasn't merely using scarcity marketing. It was publicly teaching other businesses why scarcity marketing works. So you can just basically get on there and say whatever you want to get the sale across the sales line. That's why I don't like these companies. I don't have a problem with genuine deadlines. If a webinar really has 20 seats, say it has 20 seats. If registration generally closes Friday, tell people it closes Friday. What concerned me is manufacturing urgency, creating the impression that someone must act immediately when the opportunity isn't actually disappearing. And while investigating whether Recruiter's agency was genuine, I stumbled across something far more interesting than another sales webinar. People had been complaining about Recruiters appearing in their calendars for nearly 2 years. So it's probably quite interesting. I don't know if I need to read all this, my words, but I'm actually going to get this all read because I'm getting tired and I really want to get this read. So I'm going to use my AI free reader and let's see where we get with it.
Then I found years of calendar complaints. This is where the investigation changed direction. While looking into Recrutu's marketing, I started finding complaints from people who weren't arguing about the quality of the virtual assistants or whether they were worth $5, $7, or $12 an hour. They were complaining about Recrutu appearing in their calendars when they said they had never asked for it. One Trustpilot reviewer alleged that unsolicited meeting invitations continued despite attempts to make them stop. Another described Recrutu as an appointment spammer. Others complained about seminars and webinar events appearing in their calendars without knowingly signing up for them. One complaint might be a misunderstanding. Two might be a badly configured marketing campaign. But then I looked at the dates. I found complaints going back to November 2024. Similar allegations appeared during 2025. By 2026, people were still describing substantially the same behavior. That gave me something much more interesting than a collection of angry reviews. It gave me a pattern spanning nearly 2 years. Then I found a complaint somewhere completely different. A Better Business Bureau scam tracker report filed on the 21st of May, 2026, named Recrutu Virtual Assistants LLC and described remarkably similar alleged behavior. According to the person who submitted the report, Recrutu-related appointments appeared directly in their calendar despite them never knowingly booking the meetings. They claimed some appointments appeared as though they had already been accepted and said they could not find corresponding invitations in the Gmail account attached to the calendar. That is an important allegation. The BBB scam tracker is not a regulatory determination, and a report submitted there does not establish that Recrutu committed fraud. Trustpilot reviews are also allegations from reviewers, not proven findings. But that's not what caught my attention. What interested me was that people on different platforms, at different times, were independently describing essentially the same experience. And remember what Recrutu was selling: automation, productivity, saving business owners time. Yet some of the people encountering its marketing were describing the exact opposite: unwanted events appearing inside the very calendars they used to manage their businesses. One Trustpilot allegation went even further. A reviewer claimed they attended a Recrutu webinar and asked about the company's poor Trustpilot rating. According to their account, the question was deleted and they were removed from the webinar. I have not independently verified that allegation, but if a recording exists, it should be very easy for Recrutu to confirm or dispute what happened. This, for me, is the real story, not whether Recrutu once advertised a virtual assistant for $5 instead of $7, not whether an old Calendly link stopped working, not even whether top 1% is clever marketing. Why have people been complaining for nearly 2 years that Recrutu-related events are appearing in their calendars without permission? If there is an innocent technical explanation, I want to hear it. If a third-party marketing company caused it, identify them. If recipients actually consented somewhere in the funnel, show us where that happened. And if Recrutu changed its systems after receiving these complaints, explain what was changed. After nearly 2 years of substantially similar allegations, simply dismissing this as a marketing glitch would not be enough.
Yeah, so the scripter just come in and said that she can't hear me, but I can see myself coming up on the screen. Have you got my noise yet? But yeah, the Better Business Bureau is something where I find a lot of reviews, but I don't see that claim that I've got filed on me, recruiter virtual assistants described. So I wonder if we can actually search for that on there. I'll just get rid of some other stuff that we don't need anymore. But you would think maybe that there is the name. I can't find my own reference to it. I can hear. That's cool. Click on the video and make sure you got the volume up. So that's cool. No, yeah, I'm just curious. Isn't it cool that when you search for this stuff, what I'm trying to do is actually find the agency. Thanks, Nev. You're always here, Nev. You're doing really well. Look up a scam. That's not very good. Don't know if I should call them a scam. Oh, here we go. Employment. So this company, this is what somebody said who posted it.
Employment Recrutu Virtual Assistants LLC. This company is not operating ethically. They are forcing themselves on people's calendars, blocking space where I need clients to book. It is losing me potential clients. Super shady. Constant calendar appointments keep showing up on my calendar with no invite sent, no email requesting a meeting, etc. They are showing up as accepted meetings, though I have never heard of this company, nor accepted invites. There is no record of them in my associated Gmail address. There doesn't seem to be a solid way to block them. Note, the company is not registered with the BBB. The address they listed in their calendar meeting is Recrutu Virtual Assistants LLC 2416 Marion Bay Circle, Anchorage, Alaska, 99515. At that address there is no company like this registered. Rather Charles Black and Associates https://www.bbb.org/USAC Anchorage profile /marketing consultant /Charles Black Associates 1296 227839999. Charles Black and Associates is not a BBB accredited business. He is in business. 14 type of entity, sole proprietorship business management, Charles Black, owner business categories,
I don't know.
marketing consultant, but when you look up the company on Trustpilot, it shows this, https://www.trustpilot.com/review/recrutu.com Recrutu 3097 Colonial Way, Unit J, 30341, Atlanta, United States.
You can shut up now. What I'm getting at is I'm going to add that in here because it's always it makes it easier for other people that use our data to. So we've added the Trustpilot review, and we have found the comment that was picked up when I asked ChatGPT to give me any information about this company that it already did. We can verify that by going to the company that this Charles Black, I don't even know who this is. If I go to reviews, that's not right. But what we're getting at here is that address is the same address to what we've already found advertised on other thingies, isn't it? I think it is. Anyway, don't quite know where I went down that rabbit hole, but if you want to, you can follow the links and do your own little investigation. The little things like this when we investigate, we've got united-accounting.com, all right? And then we find that recruiter hyphen projects, those little wee things sometimes get us going because it's just, anyway, so there you've got a whole claim about it. So at the end of this whole investigation, I see, at the end of all this whole investigation, we've come down to the simple thing. So is Recrutu a scam or legit? So am I going to sit here and call it a scam and take the risk that I'm going to get some legal papers turned up on my doorstep again? I've had 7 of those in the last 18 months. I've managed to save myself from all of those because the people have backed down or whatever it is. But that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm asking you guys, right? So, and this is what we've concluded. After following recruiters considerably, what's that word?
Further
than I originally expected, I'm still not prepared to call it a scam. I found this, what appeared to be a functioning virtual assistant business, and identifiable founder and customer who publicly reports receiving services. So we found people saying they're receiving services, so it can't be a scam. But I found shifting marketing claims, which I always look at the red flags, multiple domain names, which is always confusing your customers, and business identities that we wonder why they've got so many different business identity, aggressive scarcity marketing, an expanding network of connected products, and repeated allegations involving unwanted calendar invitations. The investigation also reveals that Recrutu is no longer simply representing itself as a company that places virtual assistants. Its current ecosystem connects Smart Worker, Bridge Agency. Now, there was a thing called Bridge, and I'm going to just see if I can bring it up without it being... Yeah, so there's a domain name called Bridge-Agency, and this is another website, which I don't know if I actually mentioned, which I'll just have a wee look and see if I did, because if I do, I will link it through to Bridge Agency and give them a fair crack of the whip, old Trev. Bridge Agency. Bridge Agency, and there is Bridge Agency. So there's one reference through Bridge Agency. I think I have to multiple funnels. I'll have a wee look at this in a minute. Bridge Agency proves sales going through Bridge Agencies. I think it would be wise for me to do so. Let's give them some. They're actually going to benefit from me linking through them, which I hate doing. But Bridge Agency is going to be linked, and you can update that later on, Danny. And Smart Worker. I think we did find that sitting around here somewhere as well. So let's have a Smart Worker, and it's this one here, which I'm going to put www in front of it because I just can't help myself. All right, so that's going to be, so it keeps redirecting, but that's good. So now we're going to come to Smart Worker. We'll highlight that, and we'll go there, put that there, and we will add www. Oh, actually, no, we won't. We'll just leave the raw domain. Call it raw domain, hyperterminal transfer protocol, and also Fives funnel. So now we can just hopefully type that in there. And there, oh no, Fives funnel. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? So terms and conditions, Fives, so it's called Five Funnels, but we don't actually have a domain name that I can see called Five Funnels. But let's go back to Five Funnels and see where it finishes up. It's called Bridge-Domain. So it's a little bit confusing, but let's just pretend that Five Funnels is a domain name they own, and let's type it in. Nothing happens there. And now let's just see if they use the same format they normally do, and we'll put a hyphen between it. Nothing there. Oops, did we kill it? We could have. We're just going to go into the bookmarks here. Five Funnels. And nothing funnel. So if we're going to have a look, we're going to put Five Funnels, and we'll put one last ditch effort to find their domain name, because I'm not going to link to the same domain name twice. It confuses the search engine. Let's see what we've got. Fives Funnel. Alrighty, and we've got Danny the Heck coming up when you search for Five Funnels now. Five Funnels, and all right, and one last ditch effort to help everyone out and keep it fair. We're going to go to Milanote. Hopefully I don't criminate anybody here, which I didn't. Great. And we'll go to Sales Funnel, and we still haven't found anything. No. So if we go to Home, We go to persons of interest. We come down here until we find our friend that we just added in here. Where is he hiding? Amar. Did we add him in here? I'm pretty sure we would have. Yeah, I did. Great big long name. How could I forget that? Let's see if we can find him. Confusion. All right, so now we need to go back to home. Now we're starting to bore the clientele. And we're going to go to, where we're going to go? Novatech, Tova. No, I can't find it. I don't even know if I've actually put this in here, but I'm pretty sure I did. So excuse me 1 minute, caller. There we go. So we go to that name there and we search for him because I had a whole list of domain names. It was quite tricky. So here we are. And yes, so these are the domain names which you won't be able to see. But we had all these domain names, but none of them seem to be in it to do with the funnels. So we're just going to open all those for shits and giggles and show you what we did have. And also if you go to Ponzi schemes and scams, you can see Recruiter here, and I've got the same domain names, no extra ones. So those domain names, this one redirected. This one here didn't have anything. This one here goes to recruiter-agency.com. This one does the same, and Bridge Agency. So it comes down to Bridge Agency and Smart Worker. He has not got the domain name for all those other ones, but we can see different brands within the brand. It's getting confusing. That's what I'm getting to say with. So digital trading, hold on, I'm just going to go to the top here. I'm going to actually hit refresh once that refreshes, and we'll have the latest version of the website. Digital trading products and recruitment upsells with legal documents leading back to Recruiter Virtual Assistant LLC. So that was fantastic. So we've added those links into the ones that we do have and not to the ones that we don't have. None of that inherently improper. What matters is whether the customers clearly understand who they are dealing with, what they are buying, and whether the specific claims being used to sell those products can be substantiated. Nothing really tricky about that. Across to the material I reviewed, Recruiter is associated and its associated offers have made claims involving top 1% talent, 15,000 plus workers, 500 plus placements, 99% retention, 5,000 plus pre-vetted candidates sitting there twiddling their thumbs, waiting to be hired by you for a cheap rate, sub-5% ghost rates, and more than 80% retention after 12 months. That's incredible. There are also apparent contradictional, what's that word? Contradictions between marketing, promising lifetime delegators, was it?
Delegators community access.
Nearly got it right. And another settlement describing what that community as a 30-day free and then 47% per year. They're advertising and needs cleaning up. And what is the product they're actually selling? It's just confusing. Then there are the calendar complaints. People across different platforms have alleged that Recruiter related events appeared in their calendar without permission. I don't know how that would happen, but anyway, it's very clever. With substantial similar complaints appearing across 2024, 2025, and now 2026. Those allegations do not prove fraud, but after nearly 2 years, they deserve proper explanation. Why does that happen? Let me know. Answer my writer reply. So perhaps is Recruiter a scam or legit is the wrong question. The better question is whether Recruiter can substantiate its marketing claims, explain how it connects business operates, clarify how people enter its marketing system, and address the Recruiter calendar accusations, allegation. I can't even say it. Alligators. There we go. I have now put those questions directly to Recruiter and given the company an opportunity to respond. Until then, my position is straightforward. I haven't found enough evidence to declare Recruiter fraudulent, but I have found enough unanswered questions that I would proceed with caution and conduct proper due diligence before handing over money, personal information, or access to business systems. So the writer reply that I wrote is pretty cool. It basically asked the young fella, what the hell is he doing? Before producing my video investigation, I contacted him and wanted to know more about his company, giving them a fair opportunity to respond to the findings documented in this findings documented in this investigation. My questions cover the relationship between recruiter. So we cover the relationship between recruiter, smart worker, bridge agency, and 5 funnels. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things. I'm tired. I need to read this. I went to bed at 5:30 last night.
The various performance and recruitment statistics being used in their marketing, the $27 VA operator product and $397 concierge placement, the apparently conflicting descriptions of lifetime community access, and the relationship between Recrutu's operations in Atlanta, Alaska and Kazakhstan. I also asked Recrutu to explain the issue that originally led me deeper into this investigation. Repeated public
appointments finding themselves into people's calendars. And then what was the next one?
Those allegations appear across multiple years and platforms. I therefore asked Recrutu how its calendar invitations are generated, what consent is obtained before events.
Yeah, I'd love to know that. Imagine us being able to put calendar reminders into scammers' calendars events. That'd be great.
I have also asked for evidence supporting some of the specific figures used throughout Recrutu's marketing.
So I use AI to write this, but I'm not going to get you guys. I think you get the idea that we've got 1,500 plus workers. The 99% client retention is pretty impressive. And they're claiming that they are either in the top 5%, 2%, or 1% in helping people find recruitment around the world. Finally, I asked Recruiter a question that became increasingly important as this investigation had developed. And the question was,
how much of the current business comes from actually placing virtual assistants, and how much comes from selling digital products, education, communities, funnel building services, and recruitment-related upsells around that marketplace?
Yeah, so the honest truth of it is we don't know whether this whole... sometimes I say it doesn't matter whether you're selling toothpicks, airlines, or skyscrapers. The actual company may be generating its income from recruitment, not that type of recruitment, but by sales. And people may be signing up for this $397 package and not getting what they want, or maybe they are getting what they want. So if you're a customer and you've been using this guy's services and it's delivering what you want, reach out to me. But if you're on the payroll or part of the recruitment engine, then I wouldn't really take your testimonial to bed, so to speak. You would need to, be someone, an individual company like mine wants some help to edit some videos. So technically speaking, do I go to his website, hire a $15 an hour expert and get the world-class editor? And then does that guy want to work for me? And there's only 1% chance that guy is going to stop working for me, because that's what his stats are really basically saying. So I'm not approaching this investigation with predetermined conclusion that the company is a scam. If I have misunderstood the business relationship, statistic, marketing, practice, or claim, Recruiter has been invited to correct me and invite supporting evidence. Likewise, if there is a straightforward explanation for the calendar complaint, I want to hear it and report accurately. At the time of publication, I'm waiting for Recruiter's response. So if you're watching this, Recruiters, and you're a young man, you're more than welcome to come on an interview with me and we can discuss your company, because it does intrigue me how you can make such amazing claims. If a subsequent response is received, not abusive, I do publish them on the website, but you better have a pretty good story around it. I will update this investigation accordingly and include the opposition in the forthcoming video coverage. Now, we didn't have anything to report other than me sitting here waiting for evidence, but it doesn't happen very much, unfortunately. But I will have a quick look at my emails and see if anyone's wrote to me saying, hey, don't say this because I've I get that quite a lot. But hey, look, I can see that I have sold something that's good. Oh, I am receiving some money, which is really nice. And going through my emails, I've got some amazing information on Tomo Djokovic, which is going to be great. I don't know if he's the same guy that played tennis. And also, I'm quite happy with our new scrolly-wolly text. And also things are looking pretty cool. So that's really me today, guys. I've finished early. We've done 3 hours and 33 minutes of my whole life that I never get back. I don't know about you guys, but 333 is a time that I keep looking at the clock when I go to bed at night. And it just so happens that we just clicked over 3 hours and 33 minutes worth of broadcasting, which is good because we're actually under the quota of 4 hours, which is the limit when I broadcast on LinkedIn. So if you are watching on LinkedIn, please say g'day. And if you are watching on X, please say g'day. And if you are watching on Twitch, please say g'day. And if you are watching on Kick, please say g'day. And if you are watching on Rumble, please say g'day. We are broadcasting live now on YouTube. YouTube is my biggest footprint. But if I remember rightly, you might want to check out some other things about what we're doing at the moment. One of my most favorite joys at the moment is Soho. Soho is a platform that allows me to create music, and I don't really listen to music. It's not my thing. But what I'm liking about this AI music, I went for a run today, a 5K run. I put my headphones on and I listened to my own music when I ran around the block, and it was pretty freaky. So you can see here the little wee 8s, 3s, 12s, 8s. This is how many people have played my songs. So if you come down here, I don't get too many people listening to my music. So what we decided to do today, I've got the scripter, and what she's doing is she's actually republishing all these songs in my YouTube channel. So you're going to be notified until we get up to our 30. We've got 39 songs now in here. Some of them are pretty groovy. Listen to this one. See if we get this. And this is like Disturbed. Dum, dum. Dum, dum.
One email changed the story.
So yeah, quite like it. So it was quite fun running around the block. So what that means is if you go to our home, and if you go to my channel, and if you go to podcast, you'll actually see in time, it now tells me I have 128, and you'll see all this music popping up, which is really, really fantastic. Look at that. He's yelling at us. So that's coming up really, really cool. But we're having a bit of fun. We've got Aaron, what's it called? Aaron West. And this guy over here is Pierogi. Not Pierogi. Kit Bogart. But yeah. But the exciting thing for me is if you are, oh, there he is. So this is the man that we've just done the video about.
A really good VA that you can find can save you up to 40 hours a week of your own time. Just as long as you know how to find the right person, you can screen them, get them through the test, and if
you look at this, his cell phone is actually upside down. Is that because he's talking into the microphone?
Really good, they perform the task, they complete it fast. Just start giving them tasks that consume the most of your time. For example, calendar management, emails, appointment setting, outreach, customer service. You'll notice that now you're gonna have more time to focus on your business and strategy. A really good...
Well, there you go. Here first. So he's got over nearly 2,000 followers. He's done 543 posts, and he will show you how to, is it right?
Yo,
skip.
Trust in the process, trust in the plan. Chasing my goals, so I gotta go ham. Stay diligent, militant, making news.
Okay, so he's going to teach us how to use the skipping rope, which is fantastic. So maybe it's just another individual, who's good on the rope. All of these guys have, pretty cool lifestyle. I like this one here because his partner can't walk straight in the boat, I think. Oh, boat. Oh, boats. Good boats. There we go. Oh. Yeah. So I don't know. As I said, not calling it a scam, but he seems to. There's one part of it here where he had this stuff. He always had a broken hand, and then he had this thing on his nose, which I couldn't figure out whether it was some sort of health thing. But Yeah, virtual assistant. So he's just, he's the man about town. If you want to learn about virtual assistants and outsourcing, here we go. Let's listen now.
VA gets once they get hired. So usually they start working from evening in Philippines, 9 p.m.
Yep. So he's the virtual assistant man. If you're looking for a person that works for $5 an hour, is going to be 99% loyal, never leave you, then here is your opportunity. Founder. So if you've used their services and I've got it dramatically wrong, please reach out to me because I'd love to know. I assume he also has a LinkedIn account, a YouTube account. So if I just go to YouTube and we search for this wonderful individual and we click on that, we find me. So now we're going to go here and we're going to search for just his name. We find, there he is. So now we have 1 subscriber and a few videos. Maybe there was more to it than that. But maybe he could hire a virtual assistant. Oh, there we go. He's there. 69 subscribers. That could be the real him. I'm guessing that we need to go to the real him. I think that's the real him. 69 subscribers. There he is. And he's got all the same content. So that will be him. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy his thing. We'll subscribe to his Oh, look. And look, here's some proof for you. You can see that he's actually got himself back. Well, he's got himself on Calendar with this link here. But we know when we go there, what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to be broken. And look, there may even be another email address in here that I can find. And I'm going to actually drag that off the screen just so, because if it's hidden. Oh, so I can actually email him direct. So let's see if I can finish off this. So what I want to do is first of all go to here and I want to there. And now I want to go back to that email address that I've got. And it's another, would you believe it's another domain name. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to put the website address here. And we've now got our next domain name. Whoops, I'm just going to see if I can find it here. Whoops, Pixel's barking. So the next domain name that we've discovered in this whole exercise is, and it redirects as well. Oh my goodness, but I'm not going to stop there. We're going to go to the company and we've found another redirecting domain name. How many domain names does one individual need? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and we're going to resend the email. Right, and I'm going to show you how we do that because this is what I love about technology now. Who needs a virtual assistant when you've got ChatGPT? Really? Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go to number 3. I find recruitment, and I'm going to say we have completed the video, and we also have completed the blog. However, while I was doing the video, I did find his YouTube channel and I did find another email address. So we want to compose another right of a reply, letting him know that we will update the website, the blog, if he provides answers to the questions in his right of reply. Please give me the right of reply again. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is, and then I'm going to go do. And I'm going to open up my email. Oops, that's not my email. That is something else. I'm going to do a new email. I'm going to put his email address in there, make sure I've got it all sussed. And would you believe it, before you know it, here is a right reply. And it's going to actually say everything I want to say. So now we're going to come down to here and we're just going to copy that. Or can I do it from here? I wonder if I can do it from here. No, it's going to be true. Oh, I can. Oh, amazing. Look at this. I don't even know how this works, but look, theoretically, I can actually just put his email address in here and send it. I'll just make sure, but the only thing is I want to send my signature. So I don't know if I can actually update that. Let's have a look. Danny, regards. There it goes. Oh, that's new. I didn't know you could do that. Let's go see and see what happens. Connect to Gmail. Oh, don't know that's a good idea, but let's go with a good idea. Gmail, connect to Gmail. Hopefully you don't see anything private. Yep, there we go. Oh, what's my password? It's my fingerprint. How cool is that? So you can use ChatGPT to send email directly. Did that work then? Gmail installed. Send it. Sent message. Undo. And now I'm going to go through to my out message. So I'm going to go, don't save that. I'm going to go and let's have a look and see what actually happened with that. So I use mail built into, because while I'm doing this live, it's quite funny sometimes, because what I find is a lot of these emails bounce and you do wonder why they put them on their website. But if they don't bounce, that's really, really cool. And I'm just having a look. A minute, I'll bring it up. 1 minute, please, caller. So let's get rid of some of the rubbish I've got. So that is great. You may have noticed that Danny didn't read that. Sorry about that, guys, but you'll get the idea. I'm not going to read it all, but you'll get the idea.
I'm contacting you directly to provide you with a right of reply regarding my investigation into Recrutu Virtual Assistants LLC and its associated businesses and marketing. I have now published the written investigation and completed my accompanying video. However, I want to make it clear that the investigation remains open to correction and update. If you provide substantive answers, supporting documents or evidence that corrects anything I have reported, I will review that material objectively and update the article where appropriate. My questions are as follows.
See, it's all over here now.
Recrutu, Smart Worker, Bridges Agency and Vibe Funnels. Can you explain the business and ownership relation?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Only thing is it didn't carry over my signature properly because all the buy me a cup of coffee stuff isn't quite spaced out. And that's a bit of a shame. Anyway, I don't think he's going to buy me a cup of coffee. Doesn't happen very much. He might give me a virtual assistant to help me with my emails, so that would be quite good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done. Remember, check out the music. We're up to 910 plays so far, and I've got 24 likes. So if you want to check out my music, please do go along and do wave me a like. Neville, I don't know if we've got, I don't think the scripters actually finished your logo yet. She'll probably be working on it. She's working pretty hard today. And also, as I said, all our music is going to be coming out on all my platforms. And every time I do a blog from now on, I'm going to also be creating, what do you call it? I can't even think. A podcast to promote the songs. So that's going to be very exciting. All right, that's me. Hope you're having a great time. Tomorrow we are doing another one, but on a like-minded scam, which is like BG wealth sharing. So hopefully you'll see that there. And Nev, in your ears, I'm saying good night to you. And it's good night from me. And it's good night from the scripter as well. All right, see you guys in the next video. I'm Danny the Heck, and we are the Avengers, investigating online fraud. Anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam, we're going to name and shame you, put you into the limelight, because justice doesn't happen quickly, but the Avengers come after you pretty quick. See you in the next video. Thanks.